Oh. I have a public transport story for you. Oh.
I have to fight every part of my being because that was the melody of a Japanese and German opening for Digimon Adventure, the anime. And I want to sing along to that so hard because...
It's a good song actually.
The English opening, the Digi-Rap, it sucks compared to the Japanese and the German opening. It goes so hard, so hard. Tifa is rewatching Digimon because why not?
In German, because there's no English available. And I have to say that bit is a bit horrible. But the song... That goes
I cannot sing,
hard.
but I need to sing along. Thank you, Psycho. Thanks for being first and second. Thank you for being here. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's Wednesday.
I'm now on like episode 30
something.
Or 20 something, around 30.
29ish.
Also good. I'm now around there and I haven't skipped the intro once.
It's illegal.
I want to skip the rest, but I'm sorry, but
Just
watching it in German is so bad.
Listen,
I'm still watching it. But...
Listen, the anime came out at a time over here when anime wasn't quite a big thing in Germany yet. And especially, I want to say, the stuff that was made for kids. I mean, some of the people that worked on this really gave it their all. But maybe sometimes the people that gave the voice actors directions should have had them do another take or two, or I don't know, get somebody else.
Yeah.
Some people phoned it in. I'm sorry, I'm not a professional voice actor.
I'm not saying we're doing better, I mean,
but
I wouldn't listen to my own voice acting in an anime either.
I
but
would,
like
100%, I would voice act in the game. 100%.
Du hast mein Freund getötet.
That's not German.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Du hast meinen Freund getötet, which means you have killed my friend. A lot of like mid-90s to early 2000s anime, if you watch the German dub, has that stiffness to it. People, it seems like they're reading their lines, and I don't know if that was always intentional.
It's kind of where the hatred for dub comes from.
Yeah, I understand that.
Watching dubbed. Well, we currently only have Amazon Prime, and they only have the dub version because Prime, for some reason, doesn't like to put English version.
Because licensing.
Because licensing. And even though I can say Netflix does the same. Like I put something on the other day.
Because
I wanted
licensing.
to put something on that I've been wanting to watch for a while anyway, and I was like, oh, it's on Netflix, easy. I'll just watch it. And it had like 20 languages except for English. It's
the worst, or the most bait and switch when
subtitles.
When the little 30-second blurb that plays if you hover over a thing on Netflix is in English. And then you're like, oh my god, I've been wanting to watch this anime, and it's in English.
Great.
Click.
And then even
languages available, Japanese and German. I'm like, I don't speak Japanese.
And I don't want to read the Germans and stuff.
Don't want to listen to it in German. Can I just have the language you just gave me?
But then the trailer is in English. Not even the flavor text. Even the trailer.
That's disgusting. Yeah.
It's false advertisement, really.
I don't understand why. First of all, I don't think you should be allowed to advertise or preview your thing in English if you don't have English. And also, I feel like with the price increases at Netflix lately and Disney Plus and everywhere else, I don't know if the people in charge remember that the only reason why streaming became a big thing was because it was more or as convenient as piracy at an affordable price. Prices have doubled for Netflix, I want to say.
Yeah.
Since they started?
Tripled almost, because I remember getting an account for $4.99.
Okay, tripled then because they got rid of their cheapest tier just the other day.
And now the price increase was 17?
I think 14.99, something like that.
Was it?
Yeah,
that was a bit more.
Yeah.
And you don't only have one streaming service now, because back then you basically had one.
You had Netflix,
maybe two.
For a couple bucks. That was nice.
So now you have 20.
Yeah, because everybody went, oh, I can make money off of this.
Yeah, I mean, I fully get that, but now it's no longer the convenient.
Now we circled back to cable TV. Exactly. We went full circle. We went from, oh, I want to watch everything and I want it to be, you know, nice and easy. And then that turned to shit. The shittification of things kicked in. And then Netflix came and disrupted the medium. And then now we're back to square one, except now it's not cable providers. Now it's streaming services. We're at a point where we've let our Netflix sub and our Disney Plus thing just elapse because we're like, well, I guess when there's enough stuff that I want to watch, I'll just resub for a month and then I'll drop it again and then I go to the next one. Amazon Prime Video is just included because we're Prime members.
Well, I still had plenty I wanted to watch on Netflix, but now we're also watching a few things on Amazon Prime, like The Boys.
Yeah, just finished that actually.
Well, I've seen some shows that seem interesting, but
yeah,
I currently don't have too much time to watch anyway, so might as well wait.
I don't feel the need to pay for services that I don't use that much, especially since they keep getting more expensive. Like, if I don't use it,
at some point,
might as well cancel it, right?
I'll take it back, but for now,
yeah.
I think it ran out just before our vacation, and then we were, because we didn't agree with the increase. And then we're like, oh, we're going on vacation anyway. And
then it's been a month. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't had too much time.
But you said you had a public transport story.
Oh yeah.
Talking about shitty things.
Public transport story. I hope you're ready for this.
I know what's gonna happen.
Because this was a nice one, even for me. And I gotta be honest, it didn't happen today.
Jack, we almost distracted her.
Oh no, trust me, this is in the back of, living in the back of my mind, because it didn't even happen today.
Wait, sorry, now you distracted me. Fair, but I have to say something to this. The amount of times Tifa has brought up something that we wanted to say on stream and then we just, you know, flow of consciousness kept going and then we didn't talk about that thing. Every time that happens, a part of my soul dies. I know nobody cares, absolutely nobody, but I do. There's this part of me that, like, later when I upload this to YouTube, I'm like, oh, we never ended up saying the thing, or I never finished that thought. I'm like, I feel like it's lost to time and space, like tears in the rain.
No, but some things you can just save. Like I said, I have a public transport story, but it actually happened last week. And I was like, I'm gonna tell this on stream. But sometimes we talk about different things. Yesterday I was like, okay, today I'm gonna talk about this.
Today is gonna be the day.
But we talked about different things, and that is completely fine. I mean, if we have things to talk about or a conversation just happens, we'll go with it and then I'll save it for another day where we can talk about it. So for now, yesterday we were fine, so now I'm bringing it in today.
Dark Lord, depending on how your stomach is, you might want to run from this story. Picking up brekkies will hopefully BRB for when things start.
Yeah, this is a good time to...
Happy Wednesday.
Not listen then if you're gonna have food. So, last week.
Aggressive pointing, still no story. It's my thing.
I was, as usual, sitting in the train during a time where I'm usually not there. So I also didn't expect a lot of things to happen. It was quite empty. And I have picture evidence of this, which you have refused to look at, as a matter of fact.
I want to say something about that, but I'll disrupt the flow. Keep going. I'll speak about this in a moment.
So we have already mentioned about how before you sit down, you should always watch. Because you never know what's going to be on that chair.
You should always check.
Always have a quick peek before you sit.
Maybe do a taste test like those kids from Watanagashi.
Someone decided they're not just gonna have a look, they're gonna have a shit on one of the chairs.
One of the seats.
Or one of the seats.
Yeah.
One of the outside seats, as a matter of fact. in...
What's an inside seat?
The window seat. The
Tifa,
hallway seat.
Tifa, stop coming up with new words. Somebody shat on a seat in the train.
Yeah, I guess that's the most important part, isn't it?
Yes. I'm the nitpicky one, but you're getting stuck on everything except for the main point. Somebody decided to take a shit on a seat in the train. Why?
That, and don't even ask me how, but it kinda got smeared all over. Absolutely disgusting. And they're just gone. Shit is just there.
Shit has happened.
Shit has happened. No one is near anymore. And I'm just... Picture. Jack's never gonna believe me. No one is gonna believe me because this shit always happens. So I'm like taking picture evidence when...
So, no. Now I need to interject. So, my perspective. I'm sitting here doing my usual business at the time. I'm working and I get a message. I feel my phone vibrates once, twice, 3 times. I'm like, must be important, or maybe something is happening. Better check my phone because I got a moment. It's fine. So I take my phone and the first thing I see, because I don't know why, but it loaded the last message first in the preview thing. It's a picture of shit on a seat in a train. And I'm like, why is this on my phone? And when I checked and it says sender Tifa, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense. Do I want to swipe and read the rest? So I did, and when she had sent me a message, 3 messages, somebody shat on the seat in the train.
I had an accident.
No, she didn't do that. But now the third perspective that I had in my mind, because Tifa, as she just told you, sat there and started taking pictures of this. Now imagine if you're some other person who just got into the train, isn't aware of the situation, or maybe you just noticed that there is human feces on the seat, and there's this girl sitting there like
having a photo shoot.
Taking pictures of it.
To be fair, I only took 2 pictures, which I still have, but that's besides the point. But I also did a good deed, because as I said, always look before you sit down. A lady came, did not look, but luckily scooped past the one chair that was covered in shit and sat down on the chair next to it. And you might not want to sit there and watch out with your bag that's gonna rub in the shit any moment. And she's like, oh, 9. Yeah, and then she left and sat somewhere else, but that would have been bad. Imagine if you sat in that. I think I've mentioned before that I have once sat in the chair someone peed in, and that was already horrible enough. But I can't even imagine sitting in a freshly shed on seat.
My intrusive thoughts are winning, I have to share this. Like, you know when you go to the toilet and you sit down, but somebody used the toilet before you, and you still feel the warmth of their body because the seat of the toilet isn't cold?
Pre-warmed seat.
I would imagine it's something like this, but still infinitely like worse. Because if there is any warmth still, no, no. Also, what do you do after you realized you just sat in another person's feces? Do you just get out at the next station, rip off your clothes and just run home?
Cry. I'm not sure what you can do. If I'm on my way to work, I will call in sick. Like, there is no way I will survive that day.
Imagine... We're not gonna show you the pictures. And we're not gonna upload them to Discord because nobody needs to see them. But if I recall correctly, wasn't it not just on the seat, but also up the backrest?
A little bit, yeah.
Imagine you are like me and you have long hair and it's open and you sit back. Did you know that humans are only 2 to 4% genetically different from chimpanzees? Totally unrelated. Yeah.
Same behavior sometimes, really. If on our next vacation we're not going to do anything, I think it could be fun to just spend an entire day going up and down with the train.
No.
Hopping carts maybe a few times in between. There's so much to be seen.
No, Tifa. Listen, the amount of stories you have to share from the unspeakable horrors you witness on your commutes, that's plenty. I don't think anybody needs more than that.
Yeah, but imagine what else is all out there.
I don't need to know. There's only so long I can stare directly into the abyss before the abyss starts staring back into my soul. You know?
I think everyone can agree with calling public transport the abyss, yes.
I maintain my opinion. 99.9% of people that use public transport want the same thing you want and I want. Don't talk to me. I just want to get to the place I need to get to. Without any hassle, without any interruptions, without any interactions if possible. Don't talk to me. Let me get in. Let me get to the place on time preferably, and then I'll get out. That's all anybody wants. But that infinitesimal amount of people goes, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna shit in the train. And I don't know.
It's also really an area thing, because if I would ask you around which stop do you think this would be, you know exactly where it is.
Yeah, but
there's only so many places this shit happens.
I think that's a misconception too. Now, are some areas different from others for multiple reasons? Yes, very much so. But you know, the trains keep going back and forth, or sometimes they're going to circle, depends on the line. You know, it could have happened anywhere. You do not know. It could have been on any of these stops. I want to think that whoever did do the do-do deed, it was an accident. I want to scour the internet to see if somebody goes, oh my god, I was trying to get to work and I was sitting in the train and I shat myself. And then the next station I got out, and then I shat myself some on the platform, and when I tried to find a toilet, shat myself even more, and then I wanted to die from shame.
I mean, it's not unheard of. I remember a while ago on TikTok we saw this video too of this woman who took laxatives, thought they didn't work, so went to Walmart in a dress without underwear when it started kicking in.
Yeah, and she shat everywhere. Yeah, I mean, just because it looks like it was done on purpose doesn't mean it was actually done on purpose.
That is very true. It could have been an accident, who knows? But it's still kind of funny.
Also, now,
I mean, actually, it's not funny at all.
Now I'm overthinking this even more. If I was sat in the train and I suddenly get human urges and I can't hold it and I shit in the train, what is my next course of action? Like, how do I fix this situation?
Get out.
Yeah, but then everybody that gets in after me has to be in a train that I shat into. You know?
Well, preferably you get out before.
Yeah, but I mean, it's too late now. So part of my shame is A, I shat myself, B, I shat myself in public, C, I now need to get home after I shat myself, and also D, I shat into the train.
I don't have an answer. If you have a jacket...
What do you do? Do you call the train company and go, whoops, I pooped?
I'd be too embarrassed. I wouldn't. I would not.
Yeah, but at the same time, don't you feel like you want to fix the situation?
That wouldn't. I don't think that would be the things I would be thinking of at that moment. No.
Yeah, but like after.
There would be so much dread.
As you now waddle home to get changed, isn't that one of the thoughts that's gonna kick in?
While I'm still waddling home, no.
I guess I'm just bad at overthinking things.
I do not think so. But this kind of...
I would very much think about that.
The thing I do think of when I saw that is like...
Corn. Sorry, I have to say that. Why did you have to follow up with that? Oh, come on. Ew,
well, I actually had to think of those kids who were licking the chairs back then. And this is the stuff that could have been on there, you know?
Press A.
Psycho is like watching it like, I'm being silent so that they're stopping. But there's no end. We can talk about this forever, really.
This is why you shouldn't lick seats in public transport. Like, you don't know where they've been.
I definitely think that's the reason. Do you think they, like, steam clean?
But wait, Psycho says, or has triggered the command which says, maybe you'd figure it out faster if you pressed the A button. So that's about figuring out if... No. There's only so much of this my stomach can handle. It's disgusting, and I would have lived a perfectly fine life if you had never been in that situation.
No, that's true. But I don't mind.
You know what other situation I do mind? Tifa, what has happened the last time we played Higurashi when we cried Chapter 2 Watanagashi episode 11?
I was actually not prepared for this.
How? You knew this was coming?
I knew it was coming, and I was gonna quickly click through the stream yesterday.
But?
I did not.
You were here, you were
I was here, but it was like yesterday. It was more, it was 24 hours ago.
It's been a long day for Tifa. So,
I came home like 45 minutes ago. Actually, no, that's not true.
An hour 30.
We're already live for half an hour.
Yes. So, what has happened last time is that Keiichi had gone to bed after the search party for Rika and Satoko didn't come up finding anything by anybody. He woke up super tired, told his mother, who talked to him over breakfast, that his friends have gone missing and that he tried to help looking for them. That's why he is very tired now. Reina comes, picks him up for school. They both decide, okay, I mean, if we're just gonna sit at home, try to get some sleep, gonna feel like crap, so we might as well go to school. So they do that. School is already in high alert mode. The principal is there too. Our teacher, GA, gives a whole speech about the two of them have gone missing, there'll be search parties, your parents will now have to bring you to school to make sure that no more things happen.
No more going alone.
For the people that can't be brought and picked up by their parents, please form groups. Here's a piece of paper, follow these instructions.
Mion wasn't at school either.
Mion also didn't show up. So school days sucked. At some point there was lunch. Keiichi and Reina tried to make the best out of it, but it didn't quite work. Then washing out their bento boxes, they have a little bit of a talk. And Reina goes full Ace Attorney thinking cap mode and goes, actually,
Reina Holmes,
I need to tell you things because I actually found clues. And it can't be that Satoko and Rika just were kidnapped out on their way to go play somewhere. Because I checked the kitchen, because I've been there a bunch and I've cooked for them, and they had been in the process of making dinner, and then they put the stuff they had started preparing in the fridge. So according to her, one of them was cooking, the other one was just relaxing. Then they realized they ran out of soy sauce. They didn't have any anymore. So one of them, I think it was Rika, would have gone to get soy sauce. Yes, Rika would have gone to go get soy sauce. But she never came back, which means that Satoko, who was the one cooking, would have waited for her. Now Rika would have only gone to a neighbor where she knew she could just quickly get soy sauce. And if now the idea is that they just went somewhere and had dinner there, because why else would the dinner be packaged in the fridge? That also doesn't work, because there's no way Rika, knowing Satoko, Satoko cooked, Rika would have gone. There's no way, because she's so kind, she would not have eaten the stuff that Satoko had prepared. It's very in-depth and in character, but basically that's the gist of it. So clearly something must have happened. That both of them eventually left, and it must have happened near or in somebody else's house, trusted part of their circle.
However, she doesn't want us to go to the police with that information, because that means then someone from Hinamizawa is a kidnapper slash murderer slash something, so she wants us to keep it to ourselves.
Exactly. After that we went in our group of school kids went home. It was just us and Reina. Reina left to go home, and Keiichi also wanted to go home.
Almost at home with Reina when we saw Ooishi, and then told her,
he sent her off
already.
to just go on without me because the police is there, and yeah, I don't want to drag you into this. So then we had our usual talk in the back of the AC car. It was very cold. And now we learned something new and mind-bending, because as Ooishi was telling Keiichi about all the stuff that he had learned since the last talk, he also went, yeah, but how come you're the last survivor of the 4 people that went into the storehouse? And it took him a while for Keiichi to register, and he's like, what? What do you mean I'm the last one? Ooishi then springs upon us that after Tumitake and Takano,
the day after the Watanagashi,
were deaded, the very next day Shion went missing. She hasn't gone to school, her parents haven't seen her, her family hasn't seen her, but nobody noticed at first because Shion is such a wild child. She usually does whatever she wants. Nobody knows where she's gonna sleep because she just pops up at her relatives and goes, I'll sleep here tonight. She also doesn't go to school if she doesn't want to, so the school didn't bother
It's not even that nobody noticed, it's because the parents don't call in. The school is used to her not always showing up, and the one that actually called in was her uncle at
Angel Mort. True, because she didn't show up for work.
Because she didn't show up for work and they couldn't reach her. So it wasn't until 3 days later that they realized she was missing.
And potentially, that means she went missing after the library scene, where she was like, oh no, it's the police, I have to go, and then Keiichi didn't follow. So potentially that was the last time we saw Shion.
Which is also really weird, and which is why Keiichi is currently having a really hard moment, because we've been talking to her on the phone every day since then.
Yes. The same night and the night after, we've talked to her on the phone, and we would expect another call from Eon again tonight. And that launched a whole discussion about possible theories, and my working theory, still, even after sleeping on it, is that Mion is the one that died, and Shion is now posing as Mion. Also posing as Shion on the phone. It's like a smorgasbord of mindfuckiness.
It's a bit confusing. One thing that also
impersonating impersonators.
Basically. One thing that has also happened in between with the talk with Ooishi is that we told him what we've seen inside the warehouse.
Yes. I think I can quote Keiichi here. Old, rusty, dusty torture equipment. And Ooishi had no reaction to that. None.
Well, he was hoping, like he said, that there would be like a drug lab
drugs,
or weapons.
Guns, illegal equipment.
Something they could actually get them on.
The super weird King Dungeon did not even register with him. At all. 300 IQ double switcheroo.
I think we're still in for a bit of a ride.
I absolutely hate it because it's bending my mind. Like this is complaining on the highest level. I'm happy about this. Like it is so mind-boggling, and I've still spent most of my time today, when I wasn't focused at work, thinking like, was there any clues? Is there any way to discern whether it's Mion or Shion we're talking about? But also, in a game where in chapter 2 the twin sister gets introduced, listen, if they go with, oh, we have a third triplet sister, Freon, I would just sit here like, yeah, no, of course, yeah.
Yeah, but they can do that. That's the thing, they can technically still do that.
It's equally interesting and frustrating when you know you could figure it out if you were smarter. Exactly. And I'm thinking, what, is it like some of these movies where they have this big twist at the end of a thing, and then you watch the movie again and you go, oh my God, the amount of clues I missed because like my mind wasn't tuned into this. What did we not see? What did we not read properly? What did we not give enough attention to?
Yeah, but it can be this little thing that makes the click happen. And either you get it or you don't. But at some point, you'll see a connection.
Is there like mannerisms, speech patterns, you know, things that usually give away a person in these fictional scenarios? Like,
I'd say you could guess at the mystery of chapter 2.
I guess the mystery... Wait, there are multiple mysteries for the game? I guess the mystery for chapter 2 is who actually died. Mion or Shion?
Well, it's not just them. And did the missing people die? Why are the missing cases and killing cases different this time?
Those eyes tend to be a giveaway. Yeah, that's what I said last stream too. I'm thinking, retroactively, potentially also even back in chapter 1, every single time Mion did the...
creepy item.
We still don't know anything about
it. Creepy.
So the creepy moment where she had the eyes of a hawk and all of that. Every single time that happened, it wasn't actually Mion, it was Shion. So Keiichi saying, this is not Mion, this is not the Mion I know, wasn't actually him trying to be a 15-year-old boy, a child, trying to comprehend the gravity of the situation and everything about it. It was actually flat out telling us, that's not Mion.
We've had a close-up of those eyes in chapter 1 and in 2. I wonder if you put them next to one another, if there is a difference maybe.
My problem is, I don't know if that could contain spoilers. I can tell you why. When I make the YouTube thumbnails for Higurashi, with the first chapter, I used the opening screen, the one that's in the background when, you know, start, continue, config, extra, that you'll see in a moment. And I did the same for chapter 2. All of the background artworks, they have file names. It's not just 1, 2, 3, 4. They have actual names. So I could look at the actual files, but because they have names, that might contain spoilers. So I'm not going to.
Yeah, but just go to one of the streams.
Oh, like that. Yeah, I'm too lazy for that. It's my excuse.
Well, maybe we'll get some clues today.
It would be nice. It would be very nice.
I do not know where you saved, so go ahead.
After he had a...
No, I mean your actual save file.
Physically on the computer screen in the moment. I can tell you that we did save after he yelled, "No, it can't be!" in the back of a car.
Yeah, the conversation in the car was kind of cut off before we continued, and then we were at this moment back at home. So I do hope we still get a little bit of a recap of how the rest of that conversation went, because I think that was important.
Yeah, it's like big moment happens, fast forward, and then I'm pretty sure we're gonna get like a flashback or like a recap of what happened in between.
Lord of the Rings style.
I forgot to ask Tifa, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Am I ready? Oh yes, look. Why do I always try to drink and speak at the same time? Bad habit, I need to shake it off. I lay down on the couch and stayed there dazed for a while. My mind was completely blank. I couldn't think about anything for more than a few seconds. there was a note in my house saying that mom and dad would be home late and that I should have some ramen or something for dinner. Pork, bone and ginger flavor? Also, is Keiichi gonna die now? Because this was the beginning of the end in chapter 1 as well.
It seems a bit soon.
Why? This is chapter 11.
Oh, how many chapters were in the first one?
14, I believe.
Then it seems a bit soon.
Why? The parents are gone, shit is coming to a climax. I said shit so much, now I use that as a synonym for stuff.
I don't think so. I'm even doubting whether we're going to die or not.
Yeah, my money is on Keiichi dies. It's like, what's that South Park character? Kenny. They stopped doing that, didn't they? They don't kill Kenny anymore in every episode. That used to be an early South Park thing, I think. I haven't watched them forever. I could make it whenever I got hungry, but I had no appetite, so I just stared blankly at the ceiling without eating anything. The hands of a clock were already pointing at 10.
Which clock?
You killed Kenny, you bastards!
Exactly, that was one.
They stopped in season 5, actually.
Oh!
Does anyone remember the reason why? I vaguely remember reading about it, but I don't remember...
I do not know. Maybe the joke got old? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
The joke ran dry, I guess. Yeah, I mean... Ultimately, like, even if the people watching at some point will just expect it or just give it a dry chuckle, if you as the writers go like, yeah, nah, just canon.
I think it had an actual reason, or I'm confusing it with the fact that Homer stopped strangling Bart in The Simpsons.
Oh, because, you know, child abuse is not actually funny?
Yeah, that they then also cut out, but I thought there was something behind the Kenny thing as well.
Stop killing him off like every episode after a while, yeah. There we go.
Poor Kenny.
Would I get another phone call like that today? Even though Shion had already disappeared. Would she still call me? Where were they calling from and who were they? Only one way to find out.
You know what I don't really get, by the way? When he had his breakdown too, after he heard Shion was missing.
Mm-hmm.
He started going into this whole, but then who was it?
Yeah.
But it can then only be one other person. And not once did he go, has to be Mion. There's only one other person that sounds like Shion.
I want to say that's because he doesn't want to believe that. If there's one thing that has been true for Keiichi in both chapter 1 and chapter 2, therefore becoming part of what I assume is the ground truth of all of this, is that he doesn't want to see his friends in a negative light.
Yeah, I guess. But seriously, until Trion gets introduced, the only person it can be is Mion.
Yeah. Or a voice impersonator.
Seems like a very small...
For all we know, Oreo Sonozaki also sounds exactly like them, and we don't see the person on the phone, we just hear them.
I guess
What?
that is true.
America, you can dial *69 or asterisk, I think it's called, to recall whoever last called you, or before you could call your local operator who could look it up. Oh,
I don't know why local operator brought me back to the
Nice.
90s once again.
That's a nice feature. I don't know if that was an international thing. I didn't even know until right now that that was a thing that you could do. So just called *69. That's going to be the name of my adult movie if I ever make one.
Personally, I would think I would sub to some weird subscription.
Yeah, but that's because you think that now. We're just weird people. The more I thought about it, the more I started to tremble. I even thought about just disconnecting the phone line. If I had been thinking a little less logically, I really would have done it too. Now, hold on, Keiichi Maebara. Ooishi-san admitted it himself, didn't he? That Shion went missing a lot? Couldn't she have just gone to relatives that Ooishi-san didn't know about and have been there ever since? Shion and I were both being targeted by somebody, so it wouldn't be strange to think she went somewhere she usually didn't in order to hide. It must have been why ooishi-san couldn't locate her and why he labeled her disappearance. Yeah, that had to be it. Shion hadn't disappeared at all. Then my right hand moved of its own volition and slapped me on the cheek.
I also get that he's trying to convince her, but she also lied to us on the phone and was like, oh, I went to work and I'm going to work. And then it turned out she never went to work. Why would she lie to us?
Because she doesn't know who's listening on the phone, because she doesn't trust the police or anybody. Every possible scenario can be explained with what information we already have, and I hate that.
That is true.
Because if I now go, oh, it could be this, or it could be that, or it could be that other thing, then Tifa's going to be like, no, you can only have one theory.
Oh, you can have more.
You can't say everything is possible at once because...
Yes, exactly. That you can't. You can have several, but you can't have everything. And you can't have the contradicting ones and then just pick which one it will be.
I'm not how am I gaslighting?
Or you just go with mine.
I'm trying to improve as a person. I know it doesn't always seem like that, but I really am. How was I gaslighting right now?
The fact that you don't know.
Yeah, I know. Am I so toxic that I'm beyond help that I don't even realize? I guess. I played both sides. .give. Yeah, I guess. And I took that personal.
Jack doesn't just play both sides. He goes up, down, left.
And I want to say I blame the Zero Escape series for that. That was, that really opened my mind. Like, it opened a chakra in me or something. It's cold sting. Let me calm down a little. Don't just convince yourself of the most convenient possibility, Keiichi Maebara. I knew I didn't want to admit she had disappeared. Admitting it would mean that something terrifying was definitely happening. I just needed to figure out whether Shion was the one on the phone or not. Would I ask her if she was actually Shion? That seemed like an incredibly absurd thing to do. Still, don't run from this, Keiichi. If the person on the other end still believed that I thought she was Shion, then that gave me a tiny advantage. Casually, completely casually, I would listen to what she had to say and fend her off. I would tear the skin off a monster. It would definitely be really scary for me. However, as the last survivor of the people who went into the storehouse that night, this was my duty to perform. Still, then, who would call me and pretend to be Shion?
Also, this is even worse now that I think about it. The fact that Ooishi did not tell his parents about all of this.
Yeah.
Out of 4 people that did something, 3 are assumed dead.
Chapter 2 Ooishi is the worst shit stain in the entire story.
This
willingly or not.
I only just now realized that he is the last one, which means someone might be after him, as Ooishi also believes.
There's also zero indication so far that the police is actually trying to protect him.
Yeah.
Other than, I'll drop by once a day to talk to you. I guess he has Keiichi in his events.
Yeah, but the parents should know. His parents need to be informed.
Maybe he does. We do not know that. I would hope he does, and we are just not privy to that because, storytelling reasons. Maybe the parents know, and that's why they're not here currently. We do not know, so I fully get why Keiichi is going through the motions, going through all the worst thoughts possible in this moment. I would do the very same thing.
Our kid might get killed. We should leave before we become a victim too.
I must away. I must draw my tentacle hentai somewhere else. Need a change of scenery. Wife, let us leave.
Keiichi's parents are always rather strangely absent. It's almost odd. They are somehow involved and I do not know why yet. Or they just want to have this plot point open so that they're not in the way.
It's usually they're just uninformed or actively busy.
I think they have a bigger role than they let on, but I just don't know what yet.
It's so weird. In my dumb ass head, the thought has crossed my mind as well, but at the same time, I'm so so desensitized by other media. Like I've ranted about this before a couple times. Shows like Pretty Little Liars, any show where Stranger Things, any show where weird stuff is happening to a bunch of children, every single time once they actually get together and at least talk to each other about this, they always go, we can't tell our parents and we can't involve the police. No, you morons. Involve everybody. The more people know that scary things are happening, the higher the chance that somebody can do something about it from where I stand. Like,
it's always something.
And it's the same thing here. It's not like Keiichi is actively trying to inform his parents either. In chapter 1, he actively hid it from them. He put his stupid note behind the clock, and the only clue, if we want to be nice, was that he went to his parents, I might die. I love you. Like, it depends on the relationship with your parents. Yes, of course.
That is obviously true,
yes.
But in like every show, they always don't. It's kind of refreshing when there was actually a show we watched not too long ago where they did talk to their parents, and we even said like it's refreshing to see this, but I also don't remember.
What did we see?
It was actually, oh wow, like this kid actually did it better than I would in this situation.
Crap, now I want to commend a piece of media and I can't because I can't remember the name. But yes, shit happens and this person actually actively goes out and seeks help. And then they have an interpersonal relationship problem. And then they address the problem to the person. And they talk about it. And I'm sitting there like, oh my god, Tifa, finally. This is television that shows how you can actively do something to make the situation better instead of hiding it and making it worse.
Was it this show? It's not sex education, but basically something that seems like it's based off
Sex
that.
education did do that to a degree, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't that one. It was this other show that kinda seems...
I don't recall.
Like a spin-off off of that, just a bit worse. I forgot the name.
Once we remember, we will tell you.
Yeah.
We will sing its praises to the high heavens. Because it needs to be done.
Those bits were really nice. I agree.
Line between drama and melodrama is very fine. Yeah. Maybe it's just one of those tropes you have to come to accept in this medium. I guess. I may have only heard her over the phone, but her voice shouldn't be that easy to replicate. That was definitely Shion's voice. It sounded just like her. It could have only been Shion. There we go. Thank you, Keiichi. There was someone though, wasn't there? Someone who sounded just like Shion. Mion. Mion? Who else could have done this? At this point, seriously, after all this time, all those little things that didn't quite make sense about Mion until now overwhelmed my mind. Like being questioned about sneaking into the ritual storehouse and how she shook the ladder while spouting curses. Who else could have... Why though? Why would Mion... I thought back to the things about the Sonozaki family that I had heard from ooishi-san and Shion. Mion was always entangled in the incidents, in a position where she was omnipotent. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she disappeared. I madly scratched at my head. Courage, give me the courage. Just a little bit of courage to pick up the phone. I know it will ring tonight. It would be so easy to run away. That, though, would be the same as making it easy for them to erase me. I cannot run. I must stand up and face it. After all, the next sacrifice would definitely be me. I was sure Shion would use tricky words to try and trap me. Be careful, be careful. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Ah yes, a panic attack. At that point, It rang. The phone rang and I didn't know where the call was coming from. Shion had disappeared. Disappeared a long time ago. Disappeared the night after Watanagashi. Yet, until today, she had been calling me like nothing happened. Now again, tonight, the people that had disappeared, their corpses simply haven't been found. I really didn't think they were alive. So if it really was Shion on the other end, then did that mean she was calling me from another world? Of course, that couldn't be. A living being was calling me pretending to be Shion. Shion was long gone, and yet, as though she were alive and well, the phone continued its incessant ringing. I didn't want to pick up if I didn't have to. I just concluded, though, that not doing so wouldn't solve anything. Then what would I do after I answered it? Would I immediately declare she wasn't Shion and ask who she was? Alternatively, would I pretend I was still fool and try to grab her by the tail? That would probably be the safest thing to do. What I was most afraid of was that the person on the phone would do what I was most afraid of was what the person on the phone would do when she realized I know she wasn't Shion. However, as long as I continued to let her think I was fooled, she wouldn't do anything extreme, right? If I just make sure to be careful, that should be the safest option. I've made up my mind. I'll answer the phone. Once I do that, I'll talk to her as if nothing's happened. That wasn't all I'd do this time, though. I'd scope her out. Who was she? What was she thinking? And what was she after? Why was she doing this? Was she really the one who killed Tomitake-san and Takano-san? What happened to the mayor? What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? All of this while the phone is still ringing.
Yeah, it makes my heart skip a beat.
I know,
Or not
right?
even skip a beat, it makes it skip faster.
Yeah, it's like it keeps ringing. It doesn't end. Like the inevitability of this phone call is like fear-inducing somehow.
It would be another 3 years until Run DMC says tricky.
It's tricky.
Oh!
The song.
Yeah.
Like I know the melody, but I can never remember words except for it's tricky. It's.
I cannot. This ringing is so getting on my nerves. I cannot get the beat.
Pick up the phone. It's tricky to rock a rhyme. It's tricky. Something like
I have
that.
a feeling you're off too, but
Slightly, but that's because I'm a not very musical person.
I blame this phone call.
Yes,
yeah,
clearly.
I know the song.
The situation was just throwing me off, otherwise I would be very melodical. I reached out to the receiver, my arm trembling. There were too many things I wanted to know, too many things I wanted to ask. I was scared. I should start by picking up the phone. Pick it up, Keiichi. Pick it up, Keiichi. Hello? Oh, how relieved I would have been if it hadn't been a call from Shion.
Ah, Keiichi? It's me. It's Shion.
My momentary, convenient, and above all fleeting prediction was ripped into 1,000 pieces. I couldn't help shaking at this point. Get ready for this.
You took a long time to pick up. I thought you weren't home. I was about to hang up. Sorry, I couldn't pick up. I was pooping.
I had stress-induced diarrhea.
That's always a good reason.
Yeah. And then I had to run to the stove because I was making some pork bone and ginger flavor ramen that I bought a whole crate of. I'm sorry. I was just in the bath.
Did your family not pick up for you? Could your parents be out right now, Kei-chan?
This is the same conversation pieces. This is the... Are you alone? Mm-hmm. Trying not to be. And
that was with Reina, though.
Yeah, so? I failed. I let her in on a fatal piece of information that I was currently the only one at my house. Well, no, they're not really. Anyway, Have you heard about Rika-chan and Satoko?
No. What happened after that? Were they found?
Nah, they weren't found.
Kei-chan, please don't lose hope.
If ooishi-san hadn't let me know, then I might have allowed myself to shed a tear or two at Shion's considerate words. Instead, now that it had come to this, I couldn't take her words at face value. This person on the other end of a receiver, the more perfect the Shion they were, the more my blood curdled in fear. Rika-chan and Satoko, they were kidnapped, weren't they?
Yes. I don't think there's much doubt.
Just how cruel and grave a meaning did those words hold? Their weight astonished me, and then a moment later, I was overcome with numbness and felt like I would pass out. I had asked if Rika-chan and Satoko had been kidnapped. Shion, in turn, had answered that there wasn't much doubt. That cruel meaning behind her words? Talking about cruel meanings.
No!
Tifa is playing with her teabag tag again. No, only I get to do that. Rika-chan and Satoko were... no, I mean, I'm sorry. About the mayor, what do you think happened after he was kidnapped? Do you think he's still alive? What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko after they were kidnapped? That's what I wanted to ask, but I frantically caught myself. What if she had given that question a terrifying response in such a way to sound like it had nothing to do with her? I was scared of that, so I immediately brought up the mayor. That said, however much I talked about the mayor...
I think he was killed.
Hey, wait, that was quick?
I think it must be really hard to kidnap someone and keep them like they are. As long as they're not hostages, it would be most practical to kill them once you were done with them.
The words started to bend so much I almost lost my balance. The scenery in my eyes swirled around and around like the hands of a clock and tried to swallow me whole from below. I frantically put a hand on the wall to support myself. A moment later, a severe nausea welled up within me. How was she saying such things so lightly? Kill them so readily? I mean, what's a human life or two anyway? I hate this music.
It's kinda if you just start an RPG and you got into your first demo battle.
No, this is music trying to sound happy and lighthearted, but failing.
I wouldn't say it's failing. This seems like training battle music.
It has a Super NES kind of quality to it, but like it's driven, but not in a motivating way.
There's a slight bit of dread in there, maybe.
Yeah.
Which I think is good for a training fight.
There are 4 directions: north, west, east, and Dennis. What?
Who is Dennis?
And why did Dennis replace south?
It's a terrible thing, but I think that's probably what happened.
If the mayor was killed, then did that mean the same had happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? No, that couldn't... There weren't some random old man. It was Rika-chan. It was Satoko. They couldn't kill him so readily.
It's probably better to think that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan ended up the same way.
Those were the words I wanted to hear the least, and I fought them back with a scream of my own. even though I couldn't change, it wouldn't change anything. Still, I couldn't help but scream. This time the tears flowed. I'd been confronted with a most horrific outcome that I'd been trying to avoid considering ever since last night, and I cried. There was no longer any doubt that it was all my fault. I killed them. I killed Rika-chan and Satoko. I succumbed to the weakness of my own heart and confessed everything to Rika-chan. That's why they were killed. That meant I killed them. When Rika-chan looked at me with those innocent eyes, if only I hadn't given in. Even my voice gave out, and yet still I cried. And cried.
Kei-chan, please just try and calm down.
Rika-chan and Satoko, they've been killed. We couldn't even find their remains. I would never be allowed to even apologize to their faces. If that was to be my punishment, then how brutal a punishment it was. I think Shion tried to comfort me, but I didn't hear any of it.
What are you going to gain by doing that? They're definitely going to target you and me next. Please, I'm asking you. Get a hold of yourself. Please. Please.
Shion was shouting, imploring me with a voice that sounded like tears were in her eyes. However, I was coming to hate the sound of that voice more and more. This Shion killed them. I had no doubts that this person killed them. Why? 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 Why kidnap someone and then kill them? Screw curses, are people's lives really that cheap? Erasing them and killing them without a second thought like this?
You're right. You're absolutely right. It would take a demon.
You can turn on the audio for big shouts in the log. I could have. Good point. I felt like crushing the receiver in my hand. How long did this person plan on acting like it was someone else's problem? There was magma in the pit of my stomach and it felt like I was going to erupt at any moment. Hey, Shion? Please tell me. Why did Hinamizawa start needing someone to die on the night of Watanagashi?
That's what I'd like to know.
The fighting over the dam project is already over and done with. Haven't enough people been cursed already? Why is it? Why? If there's a reason, then say it now! I was incoherent at this point. My emotions had broken through the dam inside of me, rushing forth, and I couldn't stop them. These were not simple questions, this was an interrogation. Shion herself hadn't realized it yet. It was just too funny. It was so funny that I couldn't stop crying.
I understand how you feel, Kei-chan. I really do. The dam wars ended a long time ago. Yet murders and disappearances keep happening every year under the guise of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Why? Why is it happening? Some of them had nothing to do with this, and some of them didn't deserve to be cursed, so why? Why?
That's what I'm asking you!
I want to know that as much as anyone!
Both of our ragged breaths could be heard over the phone.
Listen. Oyashiro-sama's curse never existed. It's too unrealistic. Just like you said, someone in the village is using the grand name of Oyashiro-sama's curse as a justification for continuing these murders and disappearances every Watanagashi. They were cunning. They've been using the curse as a convenient tool and made a system where they could get rid of 2 enemies in the village every year. And this year, that system killed Takano-san and Tomitake-san.
Then why wasn't that enough? Why did the mayor and Rika-chan and Satoko have to get killed too? I don't give a shit about the past. The only thing I care about is why Rika-chan and Satoko needed to be killed. Why is that? I didn't say a word to Satoko, you know? Why even her? Why?
Oh. He gave away...
Keiichi.
He gave away that he talked to Rika now.
And that's why, when your emotions get the better of you, you should never, if you can avoid it, have an important conversation. It will go wrong. Your emotions are going to blind you.
Well, then I say we take a short moment to get our...
GG, Keiichi. Dumb ways to die.
Emotions in check. and take a short break.
Why? Yeah, let's do it.
BRB! We're back.
We are. Do not start taking a drink every time Keiichi does something stupid. What?
I thought I had my mic muted.
No. Yeah, please don't do that.
We'll do our best.
Oh, about that? Yeah, let's drink together.
Cheers. I'll join you.
Enjoy your drink, Dark Lord. So, let's see how we try to get out of this sticky situation. A silence fell between us. Shion didn't answer for a while.
Kei-chan, please stop being mean. Oh.
A sob. Was Shion crying?
I don't have any idea what's going on either. Everything changed when we went into the ritual storehouse that night.
It was the same for me. As I listened to Shion's bitter weeping, I could feel my agitation subsiding.
When I heard that Takano-san and Tomitake had been killed that night, I doubted my ears. Then I realized it instantly. I realized what sort of a position I was in now. The four of us snuck in there. Kei-chan, you and I won't be so conveniently forgiven. When I thought about that, it made my chest so tight. It was terrifying. You know that feeling, Kei-chan, don't you?
Wait. Wait one goddamn minute. First of all, Oscar goes to you. That's scary.
What?
I know, when I heard that they had been killed that night, I doubted my ears.
What did you think it said?
I was so taken away into it all by your weeping and sobbing that I thought she said, when I heard that they broke in.
I probably mispronounced it.
No, you didn't. You did say it properly, I believe.
Which makes my nose itchy.
That's Tifa's tell. If she is fake crying on stream, her nose gets activated. There you go, people. That's the thing.
Has that been it?
I don't know, but now my nose is itchy. Alright. There was nothing fake about her words. She'd even understood how I felt. She's activating the nose power, apparently.
It really is getting itchy. That's why I confessed everything to old man Kimiyoshi. All of us entered the forbidden storehouse. It was just a little bit of fun. We knew we shouldn't have done it, but it really had just been for fun. It was only a bit of exploration, that was all. Takano-san, Tomitake-san, who went in with us, were killed shortly afterwards. They met such miserable ends. Since that day, I've been living in fear of when I would be attacked. There was nobody except old man Kimiyoshi who would help me, so I asked him to save me. Old man Kimiyoshi, he wasn't mad. He smiled and said, if you're really sorry, Shion-chan, then you'd never be demoned away. He really did. Smiled at me and told me to leave it to him.
Shion cried bitterly, recalling the beloved mayor's death. It was such a sad voice that none who heard it could prevent it from twisting their hearts. Again, I did let my emotions take over and go off at her. Shion was in the same situation as me. She should have been my one and only comrade.
Thump. Oh.
My heart pounded. My other self, deep within my mind, whispered to me, don't forget, Keiichi Maebara. Don't forget about the mayor on the morning after Watanagashi. He was told of Takano-san and Tomitake-san's deaths over the phone and committed to a meeting that evening. He went to a hospital appointment. He didn't tell his family. He'd only made it back just in time for the meeting. He went straight to the assembly hall. That's what Ooishi-san said. When did you let the mayor know? I'm sorry, Shion. It must seem like I'm kicking you while you're down, but Shion, you You told him, right? You told old man Kimiyoshi, the mayor.
Yes.
When did you let him know? I began to get scared of saying it aloud after hearing her sad voice. I wasn't saying it was contradictory, though. Besides, if it was a contradiction, then I wanted Shion to explain it to me. Did you know that the mayor had a severe case of hemorrhoids and had gone to the hospital for treatment? What a line to say in this super emotional moment.
Kei-chan? What does that have to...
Please answer me. If you didn't know, then just say so. There was a momentary silence. Then, after stammering a few times, she replied.
I knew that he had hemorrhoids. It looked like sitting down was really hard for him.
He was going to the hospital. You know which hospital, right?
I'm sorry, I don't know that much, but... Kei-chan, what does that have to do with...
Shion didn't know what hospital the mayor went to. That meant it was impossible for her to have gone all the way to the hospital to confess everything. Since she didn't know his destination, then she obviously couldn't have seen him on the train either. If there was any other chance for her to contact him, it would have been after he came to Hinamizawa. The train, however, had been delayed and he only got back right before the meeting was about to start. He didn't have time. There wouldn't have been enough time for him to listen to Shion spill the beans. I want to ask you straight. Shion, when did you tell the mayor about everything? When and where? Your answer doesn't have to be precise, but please give me one.
Kei-chan, why are you asking that?
Her sob pierced into my ears. I was taken by the illusion that I was bullying her. Even so, I'll say it. If I'm wrong, then please correct me. Please prove to me that you're the real Shion. It was impossible. The day the mayor disappeared, from dawn until he vanished, there was no opportunity for you to contact him.
That's...
The mayor left first thing in the morning for his examination at the university hospital all by himself without telling anyone. Shion, you just said you don't know what hospital he went to, so you couldn't have contacted the mayor until he got back. Isn't that right? His train back was delayed by an accident. He didn't return to his house until the meeting was about to start. So there was no time for you to have told him before the meeting started either. I heard Shion repeating her weak sobs. That sort of feminine voice automatically ripped into my heart. It was so painful for me to say it. Shion, did you go to the meeting too? Did you attend it and tell him there? If you didn't, there wouldn't have been any time left. The mayor disappeared on his way home. Shion went to the meeting, didn't she? Did she or didn't she? The question was so simple to answer, but she didn't give me an immediate response.
Actually, with the meeting,
You didn't even go to the part-time job you said you went to that day. I'll say it more directly. You haven't been seen since we were at the library together.
Kei-chan,
I'm expecting either now or in one of the next pieces of conversation suddenly color swap, doom music. Something is gonna mess with me.
I don't know when I need to stop crying.
Shion Sonozaki disappeared the day after Watanagashi. The other end fell silent as a grave. It was so quiet that it was like the phone cord had been cut. I couldn't sense anyone there. Ooishi-san says you've been missing. Despite that, you've been calling me every night like this, haven't you? Shion's sobs were torturing me. Still, I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything wrong. Please, Shion, if something I said was wrong, please say so. Shion, I'm begging you. There's that sound effect.
It's coming.
Shion, there's no way you could have seen the mayor, but If you did see him, if Shion ever did have a chance to meet with a mayor on that day, then that meant when you saw him after the meeting. In other words, it could have only been right before he disappeared, or else afterward. There it is. That. Why? Why do they do these faces, and why is that one of my core weaknesses?
Well, at least you knew it was coming here.
It was that sound effect.
That too. But
that told me I was bracing internally, like
at some point she had to. To fuck with you. It does help set the mood.
It works so well on me.
I mean, if you watch anything scary, like a scary movie or something, and you take the music out, it's not that scary anymore. The music sets the tone.
Yeah, it really does. I think Shion wasn't lying about what the mayor said. She lied about when he said it.
What did the mayor say?
That
the talk they had?
If she feels sorry, she will be forgiven.
I have a feeling that's something he says more often.
No, I think he said that as she murdered him.
We're not going to go into the
yes.
Look pretty. You would look prettier if you smile while killing me, sort of thing. You said he says that while being murdered.
Yes, but it's not whatever weird sexist book you just opened up there.
That was from Zero Time Dilemma.
Fuck off. No, that is this girl that I've known since a little child that has been like so sweet and innocent all of her life. That isn't really her. So I forgive her. Shion, I know that the you that is doing this to me right now isn't the Shion I know. And I forgive you, the Shion I think is there. Like that.
That could be, I guess.
Masters of horror, also very commonly masters of sound design. Yeah, it really helps.
Absolutely. But I think...
Seal this boo-boo there.
It might still be a bit more straightforward. Like, we're thinking in all of these mindfucks. But I have a feeling this is actually Mion.
No, that's Shion.
I think it's Mion for now.
It's Shion. Or do you think Mion was out of breath because she just came from killing Shion?
There's definitely some weird of mix-up thing going on.
I mean, yeah, that's been set up from the very first moment of this chapter.
It really has, but I think in the end it will boil down to Mion still being alive.
We will find out.
Running through so many hoops and there's only one outcome. One of them has to be it.
I think we're getting close if you do the beep beep.
Beep, beep.
When
beep.
the dial tone.
Oh, an extra beep. Bonus beep.
I stood there dazed for a while until I realized she had hung up on me. He told her he is alone at home. He confirmed to her that he told Rika. He confirmed that he's talked to the police, specifically ooishi-san, which they hate.
This is where I would just say, fuck it, I'm calling ooishi-san and I'm gonna tell him everything.
Yep. Yes! Yes.
Like, I can't deal with this.
From the scrapbook 11. I want to say 9 for some reason.
The problem with twins. This is not limited to just Hinamizawa, but in Onikafuchi village, especially the 3 families detested giving birth to twins as successors. The long-term dictatorship built on the precarious balance of the three families must have feared collapsing under the weight of internal strife from things like family quarrels.
I know this could just be a red herring to make me feel better about me calling that, but if that turns out to be true, I just want to say I called that.
Wasn't that also part in ancient China, that if you gave birth to twins as heir to the throne, one of them had to be killed or something?
I do not know. But that sounds like, regardless of China, that sounds like something royal families would do. Yeah.
It's like considered bad luck or something. Got some history thing in the back of my mind that I can't put my finger on. According to the literature, if twins were born, they had to be culled. With that, the very fact that both the Sonozaki family successor, Mion Sonozaki, and her twin Shion are alive is in itself deeply interesting. Perhaps the current leader, Oreo, is sympathetic? Of course, the twins were not cared for equally, and as the heir, Mion received special treatment.
Which would explain why Shion hates her.
From what I've heard, despite the two of them looking exactly the same on the outside, the talent lies solely with Mion. My own observations of the two of them don't leave me with that impression. Tradition dictates that the leader of the Sonozaki family is said to inherit a demon, and they tattoo a magnificent one onto his or her back. In accordance with the tradition, there's an extremely high possibility that Mion has such a tattoo on her back. That's how we'll be able to tell who is who. That's a big hint. We've never in chapter 1 or chapter 2 so far have seen either one of them without shirts on. Like, we haven't seen any part of their back not covered by clothing. No, but that could definitely be something if we can get a peek. Yeah, I mean, from this point onwards, yes, but I don't recall there ever being even just an inkling of, oh, she turned around and I saw something on her back or anything like that. Many cultures and societies believe twins to be an inherently evil thing. Yeah. Wild. I can't properly describe my disdain for that. Yeah, it's... I'm glad that I think at this point in time we've mostly evolved past that. Because how? Why? The human mind can think weird things. Everything can be evil if you want it to be. Like in your head at least. From what I've heard, there is apparently a magnificent demon tattooed on Oreo's back as well. Then I wonder what sort of tattoo belongs to the heir Mion. I really want to see her back. Stupid superstitions. Yeah, what I also wonder is, like, usually that starts somewhere, right? Like, something has happened and then for some reason the idea spreads that if this happens, then that's bad luck. Like, what's bad about having twins? I mean, I guess especially in like the olden days, suddenly you have another set of mouths to feed. I don't think that was the reason, right? Here we go, Tifa is trying to educate Muslims. Maybe there's an easy search for this. Why were twins seen as evil? There. They were seen as signs of the devil, as a bad omen, supernatural beings that could bring devastation upon society. Twins were an offense to the land and must be destroyed. No, that's from a novel. That's not historic. Oh, writing program. Yeah. My bad. Having twins meant at least one child had to die. Various customs were developed, superstition, blah blah. One of the babies could be designated an evil twin carrying an evil spirit. Wait, no, stop. You're spreading bullshit right now. Because the thing you just read is from the Jujutsu Kaisen subreddit. Yeah, but it all comes down to the same no matter... I cannot tell if you just read something that is based on the story of Jujutsu Kaisen. Every single link I click on says exactly the same, so it all comes down to that. Apparently that manga and anime is based in real superstitions. How about you stop Googling now?
But there is definitely Japanese superstition about this. JJK is based on reality. No, you're based on reality. Hello Skinner, happy Wednesday. How are you doing? Thanks, JJK. We all learned something today.
One of them is evil, has to die. I wonder how they decide which one.
Or maybe, in the case of Shmion, both of them are evil. You know, one is being brought up to be the successor to the clan and the other one is jelly. So one is trained to be doing evil things, the other one really just wants to be evil.
Evil things aside, I see the crown in the back of my head, where being number 1 and being the number 2 is quite a big thing.
Yeah. Yes, it's part of it.
Yeah, but it's kinda like this, I guess. Just more messed up.
At the Suzu Mahjong Parlor.
Reserved for the day, Suzu Mahjong Parlor. Clatter clack.
Hey, Kura-chan, you're the last one here. All the youngsters are here already. Oh, you are the master now, from this point onwards. Suzu means bell. Okay. I feel like bell has a reason to be used for the name then.
Probably.
Aren't bells usually used in like some rituals and stuff?
Probably overthinking it right now.
I don't think you can overthink anything in Jujutsu Kaisen. No, in Higurashi. Suzu end. It took me a second to realize what you were saying because I had to Japanese into British into English. Smart. Excuse me, miss. No, she handed over a convenience store bag with a carton of cigarettes in it to the old lady who owned the mahjong parlor, and she shrewdly made herself scars. She was used to this by now.
Ooishi-san, good work today.
What, were you all earnestly waiting for me? You could have just done 3-player. Everyone sitting at the mahjong tables in the small parlor were Oishi's subordinates, but there were no tiles laid out anywhere. Everyone, I'd like to thank you for your days of investigation without sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Energetic responses filled the parlor. Already it had lost the atmosphere of a place of entertainment. No energetic responses in a place of entertainment? I think we're having very different views of
Can't say I get this either.
The situation is not looking good. The chief appears to have backed down due to Congressman Tsunozaki's threats. In the coming days, we'll hand off Takano's murder to the Gifu police and give the missing persons case of the disappearance of the mayor and the others to the community division. That damn upstart chief. The veterans in the room cursed him. All of our requests for warrants were turned down as well. I've even been told that by our section chief not to go anywhere near the Sonozaki house. We're certainly in a bind, that we are. Incidentally, it looks like I'll be getting orders soon to go training at the Metropolitan Police Department starting next week. After that, I've even been told to take a paid vacation in Izu. Well, I suppose that ain't bad. He heard a few dry laughs. It wasn't anything to laugh about, but that was all they could do. This always happens, but incidents are a lot like locking your keys in the car. The keys you need to unlock the door are always locked inside. For cars, you call the repairman and they'll pry open your door. For incidents, Kuma-chan, show the map. Kuma-guy flipped over the whiteboard. On the back was a map of the Sonozaki premises made with magnets. No, I've been doing this job for a long time. I've got a lot of faith in my gut, but this could be the one time it was wrong, no? Anyone worried about the retirement money has until the count of 10 to get out of here. Oishi began to count to 10 and everyone counted along with him.
9, 10, way.
The Izu Archipelago are fine resort islands south of Tokyo.
Well, a paid vacation there sounds quite nice.
Yeah, but it's a punishment. We will come back to Monomineko. Spoiler! It makes sense that things that are made by the same people refer to similar things, or the same things even. It was their famous 10-count resolution. 9, 10. No one's leaving. No, if you love your families too much, is that it?
Jokes.
Everybody laughed uproariously, cheering things up.
Laughing in a place of entertainment?
Ew!
You don't usually hear that.
What next? I love my wife and my child? That's not very 80s of you, is it?
That's exactly what I do not expect to hear in a place of entertainment.
I want everyone to go over their materials, memorize the locations and blind spots of all the security cameras. Kuma-chan, you'll stand by in the command car. If something happens, you'll switch with me and take over. Komiyama-kun will head up infiltration team A, Atsushi-kun will lead team B. Observation teams will be set up at points 1 through 8. Bonchi-kun, you're responsible for keeping a strict timetable. Control your rotation so HQ doesn't get wise. Now, the team on standby has the most important job, alright? If a section chief asks who I am, play dumb. I'll handle escorting our guest. You can be sure I'll bring them into the venue, so wait patiently, everyone.
Wonderful cave. Keiichi Maebara, that is. So he's our guest.
From what I've seen, we're set for tomorrow, the day after that in that regard. It'll be easy. So they're planning... Okay, wait. Oishi and the police believe that the actual murderizing of people happens at the Sonozaki house. So their plan is to bust in there and get Keiichi out after he's been abducted to be brought there. Because they were talking about looking at plans for the Sonozaki house.
Oh, fair. I did not get it like that. But if that is the case, I guess you have to let it get so far to collect evidence. Since their hands are found.
You need to catch them red-handed, right? Oh my god. Why do I think it's... This time Keiichi is gonna die being gutted. And as he lays there dying in massive pain from all of this, that's when the police raid happens. But it's too late, of course, because we need that extra drama.
Keiichi? Keiichi?
Just leave him alone. His friends went missing. Must be really hard for him. Normally my dad never shows me any consideration, but this time he did. Shouldn't Keiichi stay home from school for a while too? I think it would be safer to not go until the police do something about this.
Maybe. Compared to what could happen, taking a few days off wouldn't be a bad idea.
Anyway, how is it logical not to close a school during such a dangerous situation? What do those teachers think our children are? Mom and Dad were getting pretty riled up, but at this point I couldn't care less. Besides, that wasn't the only thing I couldn't care less about. The breakfast table, the food in front of me, the time and date, myself. I really had no interest in anything. This feeling, it was like a dead fog in my mind. It felt like getting dizzy after taking a strong medication. Keiichi, how are your studies going? You've gotten further than the other kids, haven't you? If you have, you can take a few days off, alright? Didn't even feel like answering. Today was Thursday. Only 4 days had passed since the Watanagashi festival. Such a short time, and yet now things were completely different. Everything had changed. The tranquil village, bright and clear as if it were an Indian summer, had undergone a total reversal. People were made to disappear every night, and we couldn't even relax when walking out in broad daylight. The village had become a world of fear. I had no right to curse this outcome. After all, the one responsible for everything was me. That night, I couldn't resist my honestly tiny, little, and incredibly stupid curiosity and broke the taboo. This isn't somewhere we should be going, is it? That's not. It's a crime to force your way into a locked building, even if you don't steal anything. Hyun, now that you know we weren't having some secret rendezvous, you've had enough, right? I don't want to do something like this. What if Rika-chan's dance ends while we're messing around here? I prattled on as I took the lock from Tomitake-san's hands and put it back on the door. I'll forget everything I saw here, so come on. Let's go, let's go.
You know, I fully get the actions have consequences, but these consequences do not match up to the actions.
Well, the problem with consequences and actions are that you can only feasibly assume the consequences that you are aware of. Like, it's a storehouse and you broke in, you didn't touch anything, you didn't do anything, you just looked. In itself, that's not that bad, right? But suddenly you messed with over 5,000 years of cannibalistic, ritualistic cult.
Stepped on the toes of the Yakuza.
Yeah, you done fucked up, mate. So yeah, you dead.
Basically.
But how could you know? I guess my takeaway is, even if Tifa wants to go into abandoned buildings, don't do it. You never know what kind of, I don't know, crack addict is going to be in there, and then they freak out because they think we want something from them, and then stuff goes wrong, you know?
That's true. Every time I do want to look or sneak through a building that is obviously abandoned, you're like, oh no, we can't go in there.
Yes, I like living and having all my limbs, stuff like that. The shouldn't have looked ideal. Yeah, I mean, you know.
Consequences don't matter when you're smart.
When you're right. No and no.
Wait.
No either way. That's not how that works, Skinner. Consequences don't matter if you're smart. That's why there's so many consequences for us people.
I see the emote as text.
Yeah.
So I skipped over the right and straight to the we smart.
For some reason our little teleprompter thingy, it didn't autocomplete to the actual emoji.
I'll let you all wait, thank you. Sometimes it does show the full emote, sometimes it's just...
Skinner 2024. Consequences don't matter when you're smart. There you go. Please address all of your complaints to skinner@britishem.gov.uk. I'm pretty sure that's his email address. A smart person can avoid consequences. I guess in this case, the smart thing would have been to shoot everybody in the head that talks to you about this. Like, given the gravity of this all, everybody that went in there dies if the people that run the place learn about it. So really the only way to get out of this would have been to kill everybody in the village. Because everybody becomes a witness at some point. Oh, why did these 16 people die? Sorry, wrong question. Pew! Like, where does it end? I promise all of your concerns will be rejected within 1 picosecond. You know you're talking to a fancy person when they whip out the picoseconds.
Spoken like a true politician.
Yes. Takano-san was fretting, but I pushed her away. Tomitake-san grinned painfully. Shion's shoulders drooped as if to call me an idiot. Even so, I didn't care.
Also, wait.
That didn't happen. Is he now gaslighting himself? Because that did not happen back then. Or we skipped it.
No, wait. In these situations, at least we know we were actually with Shion.
No, we don't.
If Mion has a giant ass tattoo on her back, Shion is the one that has been wearing shirts where you can see her back.
We don't know.
Did you not just look at the image?
We don't know. Can I tell you why?
Because we haven't actually seen her back?
Because we haven't seen the tattoo.
It's a giant tattoo that covers her entire back.
Listen, Shion's shirt also has a back, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's a tank top which will show her back.
Unreliable narration. I've never met a Yakuza clan boss personally, but first of all, both sisters have been present at the Watanagashi because they both stood next to each other. Correct.
Yeah, but in those moments, we at least know, like when we have seen only one, who is who, if that was the outfit she wore.
Just because according to Takano-san, who is an unreliable narrator because she doesn't know, she thinks, just because somebody says they have huge tattoos on their back doesn't mean it goes up to the neck or up to the shoulders.
That is true.
It could just be comparatively large, as in something that is still covered by the shirt she was wearing.
These tattoos usually, traditionally, would take up...
Here we go, people. Tifa is secretly a former Yakuza member. Please don't kill us.
Would take up
Here we go.
your entire back. And it would not be covered by that 100%. And I do believe it's the truth. You're not necessarily. Everything that you've been saying could be not necessarily. This is what I'm saying. I do think she has the tattoo.
I'll cut through your words.
And I'm quite sure that is one of the points where we can at least for sure say if it's Shion or not.
Objection. She also points out that she hasn't personally seen the tattoo.
Yeah, but I do think it's the truth.
Also, I don't recall if that was a movie that I now recall as facts or if that was one of those documentary kind of things I've seen. But I want to say I recall that usually those huge tattoos grow over time. You don't just go there for one sitting. Sometimes, I don't know if that's the case for all the Yakuza clan members. If you happen to know one, you can try to slide this into the information in your comments. But sometimes they get one part of a thing done, and then the next milestone in their Yakuza career they achieve, they do the next part of a tattoo. So that after they've achieved the thing, it becomes the whole back.
Yeah, but with how big Mion is, the outlining you can do in one sitting.
They take a long time. In Yakuza 0, Kiryu has only an outline of his big dragon tattoo.
Yes, but the outline you can easily do in one sitting. Mion is not that back. Or not that big. That outline could be done in 5-6 hours. Less.
She says it like that 5-6 hours are nothing.
Yeah, that can be done in one sitting. I did my side tattoo in 5 hours, and that is...
I'm about to deliver the killing blow.
Go.
You are so into taking Takano-san's journal for gospel, right?
Oh, I do think it's correct.
Yes, okay, let's go with it. What did she actually say?
That she said, heir gets the tattoo.
No, she said that usually the head honcho gets this huge back piece. Yes? So that means Oreo has a huge back piece. Yes? Okay, cool. And then she said the heir also gets a really big back tattoo. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is said that Mion is the heir. And she then pondered the question, I wonder what kind of tattoo Shion would have gotten.
I know it's not confirmed.
For all we know, they gave her a tiny, shitty one that is the Japanese kanji for you ain't worth shit, you twin-ass bitch.
Of course not.
I'm pretty sure that's just one.
To the point where, write it down.
Write it down into your pancakes.
Write it in there. I am so sure that is actually going to take...
Bruh, the kanji for Kuso. I don't know what that means, but probably that. Yes.
Wait, what took 5 hours? Well, this one. No, I'm just kidding. I have a...
Oh shit, yeah, that then. That.
I have a big one from under my breast until a bit on my leg, which took like 5 hours.
Under her armpit.
No, it starts like here.
That's under your armpit. Under your breast as well.
Oh, fair. Under my armpit then.
And no, Skinner, you don't get to see it. Now, what do I write down?
That Mion does have a big... that Mion does have a tattoo that covers her entire back.
Mion has a cool-ass Yakuza back piece.
Yes. Because I do think she has that.
I could hear you type that over till here. Do you have a non-spicy pick? No.
No, it's also not really good. I got it done in secret when I was 16.
Let's not argue about the fact that they tattooed a 16-year-old without the parents' permission.
It was a, fine, I'll do it sort of thing. Didn't tell my mom until I was like 19 that I had it. It was quite some drama in trying to hide that. I always
Tifa,
wanted to change it.
Are you okay? Yes, Mom. Are you hurt? No. This is just comfortable for me.
Yeah, but you always have to make sure, like, your shirt didn't go up. I had my little brother and sister running around.
Oh, like Mion always wears a full shirt that doesn't even show her back.
And I'm quite sure she knew I had it because there were plenty of situations where, like, my little brother and sister saw it and they ran to Mom trying to find out if I did have one, and then I would draw with a pencil on my other side and go like, oh no, you saw this. So I'm quite sure my mom wasn't stupid, but we never actually spoke about it, whether she knew or not.
How did you hide it for 3 years? Yeah, by painting it on herself on the wrong side and go, no Mom, it was this.
Well, let me rephrase. I tried and thought I hid it for 3 years, but I'm quite sure I failed. There were plenty of moments. No.
Why not? It's been over 10 years. I think the statute of limitation is over. You can ask her now.
I could probably ask her now. Yeah.
What do you mean you could probably ask her? Do you not know the words? Do you need me to translate for you?
I'm still not going to. And it doesn't really look good. I've always wanted to still change it. Never really got to it.
I'll draw you one on the other side.
That could be fun.
It will be a self-portrait of me. No, it's horrible. Oh, I know what Tifa has been saying for years, that she wants to get a new tattoo. How about when we do get to see the back pieces of the Sonozaki family, you get one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen. For life purposes, getting a back piece that makes you look like a wannabe Yakuza clan boss is a really dumb idea. Just saying. Just maybe don't. You know,
if I get another tattoo, maybe a Pokemon one, and I want a Magikarp.
A manatee.
Yeah, you were gonna get a manatee neck tattoo.
No, you want me to get a manatee neck tattoo. I wasn't planning on.
But yeah.
Maybe one day. I pushed everyone farther and farther away. Rika-chan's dance was still going on. Then at last her dance was brought to a close with a roaring applause. I too, until my hands turned red, I clapped and I clapped. None of that... I'm getting hiccups from this bullshit. None of that happened. Wait, why did we just have this entire scene? Is he breaking up with reality? Or is all of Higurashi very unreliable narrator Keiichi? What is actually real at this point?
Can you go into the log for a second? To be
the
fair,
first stage of loss is denial. Yeah, it seemed like that.
Even I most likely wouldn't be allowed into an onsen with my tattoos. No, that is a rule in a lot of them from what I've heard as well.
They do know that the ink doesn't wash off, right?
Yeah, but it's a tug sign.
Oh. I'm too gangster to do some onsen action.
Okay, wait. Let me very quickly read through this again.
Keiichi went like... yeah, no, I made the situation not happen. Oh
yeah,
God, Skinner.
Okay.
Damn Twitch chat. No, I see it. It's okay. Even with that one thing missing, I see. I'm so damaged. It was just a matter of time until somebody does that in chat. I'm glad it was you, Skinner. I-L. That's short form, yeah.
Well, what does it mean? Oh, I thought it was supposed to be like a sign or...
No, it's not Roman numerals.
Like be a picture.
Tifa, short version, really short version. A long time ago, somebody semi-famous for a webcomic decided, hey, I should take my gaming and gaming culture focused webcomic and give it a narrative, a really deep story.
Okay.
So it started going into like slice of life relationship stuff. But of course relationships evolve over time, right? So the girl character and the main guy character became a couple. I think they even married. And then she got pregnant. And then she had a miscarriage.
Okay.
So what Skinner just posted is the missing one icon, but still is the text short form for loss. Replicating key things in that 4-panel comic, which is titled Loss. And everybody was completely taken out of it because it was a stupid, sorry, don't mean to offend anybody's taste, but it was a stupid comic about gaming and gaming adjacent topics when relationship stuff happened and like, you know, cool, things evolve all the time.
So cute, no-brainer, went deep.
But nobody in their right mind expected to open the page for, what is it, Control-Alt-Delete by Tim Buckley? I think that's his name. You can read all of them. To one day go to the page, load the latest comic, and suddenly get a miscarriage. And it instantly became a meme. To the point where the guy nuked the entire timeline of his comic. Like he kept carrying on, defending it because, you know, these things happen in real life. And there's a time and place for everything. Doing it that way just didn't land with anybody. Kept carrying on for a little while, and then he basically did the MCU reversing the timelines thing when it just became comics again that are not fully connected by a plot. Maybe some sub-threads every now and then, but overall the story was just killed.
Okay.
Anything with a similar frame structure has become meme. Yes, like this.
Link in Discord.
Ridiculously hard turn for it since it doesn't go much of anywhere. Yes, thank you for the link too. To be clear, most of the plot before was him hanging out with humanoid Xbox robot and his goofy roommate. Yeah, it was stuff like, hey, we're roommates. Yeah, I hate you. Yeah, same. We're good roommates.
I guess the question is, did he have a big enough of an audience before that?
Yes.
Okay. Because if that was the thing that brought him the audience.
But Tim Buckley is infamous for the Lost comic at this point. It was the poor man's penny arcade. Never read those, never got into those. I did actually read Control-Alt-Delete. I grew out of it before Lost happened. Then I got back into it for one because I wanted to like read the lead up to this, and like I was like, no, I don't know all the.
I'll check out a little bit tonight.
All the mature learning moments from this, or the drawing attention to, hey, this horrible tragedy can befall anybody. It didn't land. It just didn't.
Okay, so just wrong build up, I guess.
I don't know. Oh well.
Ding dong. Isn't that Reina-chan? She's here because it's your usual meetup time, isn't she? Excuse me, Mom? You're supposed to bring me to school.
They're busy.
Have you not seen these instructions?
Tifa, they can't bring us to school. Mom needs to peer review Dad's tentacle hentai drawings.
Oh.
She's like the quality assurance. Maybe she helps with the inking.
See if it's realistic enough.
And I just realized that referring to inking when we're talking about tentacle porn is not great.
That was actually a really good one. Thought you did that on purpose.
No. I didn't want to invoke that image in my head.
That was like a 9 out of 10.
8 out of 10 because 8 tentacles. Oh my god. Something like that. Mom can't take us to school because she's busy trying to figure out why Tifa's sides hurt so much. Yes, but it's the other one. I looked up at the clock. It was 5 minutes past my time to meet with Reina. Keiichi, shouldn't you take a few days off from school? You're right. Thanks for being so considerate. I rose from my seat. I went to the entrance to greet Reina.
It's not Reina. It is.
Listen, for all we know, this could be Mion disguised as Reina. I mean, we can't see her back.
I actually thought it would be Mion at the door to pick him up.
She could be standing around the corner for all we know.
That is true. Good morning. We're going to school as a group starting today, so you can't be late.
That's right. if we, the ones farthest away, were to be late, the younger kids on the way, they would be waiting for us. I think I'm going to take some time off from school.
Okay.
Reina answered shortly, nodding.
I think you should do whatever's best for you, Keiichi-kun. So you don't need to feel that you're weak or anything. Hint, hint. Like you didn't say it.
Pussy. No, I think Reina is very sweet. Everybody... Yeah. I said it in chapter 1 and that bit me in the ass because of how I said it in hindsight. So I'll rephrase it better this time. This version of Reina is a friend that everybody should have that sort of person in their life. Not the hatchet one, but the supportive, you know, nice, loving, caring kind of person. Everybody deserves to have this kind of Reina in their lives. I'm happy I've got mine. Love.
Love. What do you mean, especially the hatchet one? I mean, she was kind of normal when she was wearing the hatchet, actually, or carrying.
Also, I was waiting for Tifa to return the compliment, but it clearly didn't happen, so let's just carry on.
I did. With my love.
No, that's not the same as saying, oh yeah, and you too, Jack.
Oh, but you know.
Tifa, if we just sit here speechless and then after 3 hours we turn off the stream because you should just know what we were thinking, that's not how that works.
You are my best friend too.
Thank you very much. You are mine too. See, was it that hard, Tifa? And yes, I know I'm looking at the camera, so that when you rewatch this at some point, Tifa, you know that you, future Tifa, I still remember this moment.
Oh, I thought you were talking to our therapist.
Yes, you too. Ew, get a room. Hand holding!
To be fair though, we did get a room.
We are literally in a room that we pay for.
In a room.
Yes. And disgustingly, Inception, once after the stream, we leave this room, we will be in another room that we paid for. It's called rent, but still, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and here. It's a notice they're sending around. Could you give it to your mom? I think it has a lot of important announcements in it.
I took the notice. There were a lot more pages than normal. The one on top announced the disappearance of a mayor, Rika-chan and Satoko, and they wanted any information about them. It made my heart ache.
The police are looking as best they can too. They'll find them for sure. Just be patient, okay?
Copy of the Hinamizawa horror. Something like that. Yandere Totodile, happy Wednesday. Welcome back in. How are you doing?
Everything he said. How goes the Higurashi? Well...
we had the Shmion phone call and, yeah.
We're going through the roller coaster at the moment. On the... Who's Mion? Who's Shion?
Shmion.
Will Trion still appear?
Is it gonna be a Schrodinger's cat kind of thing where it's both of them, but only when we actually check it's one of them?
There were some Higus who were rushing.
Yes.
I think that does sum it up indeed.
I'm just waiting for, like, every time I press the button to advance the text, I'm waiting, and then they slit my throat and ate my entrails. And then I died in Ooishi-san's arms. The secret blonde third sister, Peon.
Chapter 3, I'm telling you.
I'm so... Oh, I need to get my mind out of the gutter.
Also Umbrian?
Close. Like, it's nothing you did, but in my mind I went like, Peon. You know, blonde, yellow, Peon. I'm not saying it was good, it's an intrusive thought that I shared. Don't shame me.
How did you get to Peon?
It's there!
Yeah, but how did you get to...
Peon, Meon, Shion, it's with a P and it rhymes. How is she not getting it?
But with a peon...
Jack, get your own brain cell, exactly like... Can you give it to her? I had the same idea. How is she not getting it?
Because I don't get the blonde thing with the peon. A peon is, for me, is like those travel cones.
That's a pylon, you dumb numb.
I have traffic cone in my head.
That's a pylon.
What's a
Or
peon?
a traffic cone.
Yeah.
Peon, as in pee on something.
Oh. Who thinks of that?
Everybody but you. Urine, blonde hair,
not even...
similarly, gold of color. Depends on your hydration level, but yes, exactly.
I just didn't get the P part.
It's the first letter.
Yeah, but that's not what... Whenever you say a word that starts with the letter P, you don't think of someone peeing, do you?
Yes, every single time.
Why?
Because it's funny and I'm 12 in my head. Oh, the other day I met a person who told me he is a musician. What is he playing? He said he's a pianist. Pianist.
And you gotta give
every time.
You gotta give me a little bit of slack though, because the Dutch word for a traffic cone is a peon.
I hate the Dutch people.
That's the first thing I have in my mind. Because of your cultural upbringing, you have killed so many jokes in their infancy. They took their first tender steps and you just went... Yeah, but that's like what I think of. I don't think about people peeing every time I say the word people. For example.
The Netherlands is where humor goes to die. Apparently. What do I have hanging on my bike? What on earth is going on? Yeah, exactly.
That's actually kind of fitting.
I said it before. Welcome in, Totodile. Thank you for derailing Tifa's mind. I'm happy we got to see this. All of us got to witness this.
I just didn't think all of you had your minds in the gutter.
Tifa, it's the internet. Of course we do. We all just sometimes act like we don't to, you know, function as society. I think he's gone already, understandable. If so, yes.
My mind never left the gutter. I mean, that's always I did, but still.
We love it. Peon's a classic meme in the Higo Twitter and subreddits. I mean, fair enough with all of this. Like,
I've been just calling the third sister Treon for now, which made sense in my head. You know, third, tree.
Yeah, we've both done that.
Yeah.
Or
here I thought I was witty.
I don't know how to tell you this, but that's a basic bitch joke. I mean, I'm in, but it's not like Pulitzer Prize winning territory. It's more like 1, 2, 3, me on, she on, free on. It's like, but you gotta start somewhere. I get it. The sobs are real now. Rena said, smiling in an attempt to give me courage. Rather than that, though, her smile looked like it was because she herself wanted to believe I was safe. Rena, you're not going to question me?
Nope.
Rena, you know, don't you? About that night, what I...
Do you mean when you snuck into the ritual storehouse? Finally, someone says it straight.
I was speechless for a moment, but then I bit my lip, made up my mind and nodded a little. So it's all out in the open. Really, I shouldn't do bad things like that.
Michan was really mad.
So she was upset. I suppose she would have been.
I don't think she was as angry about you sneaking in there though, as much as about you hiding it from her. Maybe, Keiichi-kun? Maybe you should have told her yourself and apologized.
I should have told her myself and apologized. That troubled me.
Honestly though, even if you did this and you had to apologize, I wouldn't be apologizing to Mion. If anything, I would apologize to Rika.
Listen, after a few days, when the guilt has been eating me up, I would totally see myself pulling her aside and go, hey, I did something really stupid and I feel like I need to tell you. But the next day we got hit with, Tomitake is dead. Takano's been burned to a crisp in a drum. No.
Dead as well.
No. All of my wanting to come clean and be honest with my friends and stuff, that's gone the moment people get like flambéed. No. That's when just the sheer fear and like self-preservation instincts kick in.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
You know, fear does something to people. Just 1 week ago, I did something that I myself should have apologized to Mion for. I hurt her badly. If I hadn't realized that at all. Plus, with all the confusion that Shion's appearance had brought, I still hadn't been able to talk to Mion about it. Reina, you're right. I never realized anything until you tell me.
Keiichi-kun, hypothetically, if you had admitted you'd done something wrong right away and apologized to Mi-chan, I wonder if Rika-chan and Satoko-chan wouldn't have had to disappear. Oh, that is so harsh.
God.
Oof.
Knife into the heart, and she just keeps twisting. It isn't even like a it's also not a no, she keeps turning the knife with every syllable of that.
This is a knife with those little hooks on it.
With serrated edges, yeah.
Wow. What do you still say to that?
To be fair, Keiichi could have not foreseen it. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, but they're like, oh, if you had apologized, I bet they wouldn't have died.
Are you blaming yourself? Oh, you shouldn't do that. But you know, if you weren't a moron, people you love wouldn't have died. Oh, this is very unfair. But then again, just to remind myself mostly, these kids are like 15, 16. Like, I couldn't answer right away. I couldn't admit to that. Wasn't Reina telling me right now though? But I should have admitted to my crime sooner. If I had done that and apologized, would things not have gone in such a horrible direction? Reina's eyes were filled with kindness, but they weren't naive enough to forgive me for keeping silent, and they stared fixedly into my own. Yeah, you're right. If I admitted my crime sooner, then Rika-chan and Satoko wouldn't have had to die and disappear. The palm of Reina's hand slapped me in the cheek. I stood there unmoving, my head still tilted in the direction I'd been hit. It didn't hurt at all.
I don't think that anyone has scolded you, Keiichi-kun. So I'll scold you in their place, okay?
I pressed a hand to my cheek, now warm with embarrassment, and quietly stared down at Reina's feet.
Going somewhere you're not allowed to go was a very bad thing to do. Do you understand that? And then our mom is like standing behind this, like...
No, Keiichi's dad is peeking around the corner, sees it and goes, I can use that. It's Kafkaesque of a sense. You've made a faux pas and now you've found complicit to what is likely murder, though you are reminded that it is your fault. Yeah. Kinda. It's one of the reasons why I don't like Kafka, because it's too much for me.
Problem with teenagers, they do dumb shit because they are teenagers.
Yes.
But of course they themselves see themselves as rationally thinking people. Yeah, that's especially the puberty thing, isn't it?
You don't know better. You think you know everything, but you don't know, but you don't realize that until later because you are a kid. And you do these things and you can't fully comprehend the consequences. But that's part of growing up. You know, making mistakes and then learning from them. Not like this, of course, but still.
But to be honest though, even now, if tomorrow I had a chance to peek into this sacred warehouse, which has rumors of all of these things in there,
I wouldn't let you.
I would take a peek.
No, I wouldn't let you.
Like, oh, I know.
No.
But
Tifa, we've played through Higurashi chapter 1 and almost through all of chapter 2. You will not go into the forbidden areas.
Would I break open a lock to get in there? No.
You will not peek. No. I will not let you. No.
If it's like open.
No. Put your hand down. No. No. Don't blink at me like, me. No.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we keep living, though. Therefore, they're way too harsh on themselves and other teens.
But yeah.
That also comes into it, yeah. You don't know who to trust, and adults are seemingly feeble or factless. Yeah, I know, right? My parents, they don't know anything. I mean, maybe they don't, but maybe they do, and you just don't realize it. Tifa out here confirming she's just like these teenagers. Tifa has a very explorative streak that I keep in check.
But are you telling me that you wouldn't be curious?
Curious, yes. Do I want to, I don't know, piss off the Pope? No.
I mean, like
it's not a fight I'm gonna win.
Would I break open the place? No. Would I check if the door would open? Yes. I mean, I think I've told that story before too. There isn't a single door at work that I have not tried to open yet, just to see what's behind the door. And you find some really interesting places.
One day, Tifa is going to save the world because she's going to interrupt the summoning of Armageddon, because she goes into a place because a door was slightly ajar and she peeked in, throwing off the summoning ritual. Or stepping over the diagram on the ground, therefore breaking the circle. And when Satan is being sucked back into the hell's anus that he was coming out of. And we will never know. Because, of course, you know, the people that wanted to do the summoning ritual aren't going to go like, he foiled our plans.
I just can't blame them for doing this. And no one expects all of these murders to happen because of that. So I think that it's still fair.
How is Tifa allowed to act the way she does, but my people are the ones who always used to die first? I can tell you why, but you already know the answer. It's actually racism. That's how it is.
I want to imagine...
Unfortunately. Like, that's not a funny thing, but I mean, what can I do, you know?
I want to imagine if I was in a horror movie, there are two possible outcomes.
You will die first or not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way. I would not die in the middle. Like, either first one.
Tifa would be like, oh, have you tried talking to the weird murderer over in that corner, and then just go over and try to give him a hug?
Because depending on what it is, I would be the one who stands and watch out of curiosity. Maybe tries to poke it.
Like cocaine bear, like...
Can I pet this?
If not friend, then why friend-shaped?
Exactly. Or in the moment, I'm actually a little bit smarter than usual. And do find a way out and survive by pure luck. Because that's what it all will boil down to.
She is also a very lucky person. So, yeah.
But I think no matter the situation, if you're in it, you will die first.
I die first.
You will die first.
She survived. You saw her beat Udex Gunder in Dark Souls 3. That was disgusting. Yes, I remember this like it was yesterday. Tifa is gonna walk up to the cocaine bear in this scenario and just go. And then in its rage, it will not hit her. And that just dies of the overdose or something.
I hit just the spot and it turns into a puppy.
Yeah, just scratch her belly. On the other hand, Jack, Bluebeard is all about opening doors you shouldn't for the betterment of life. What's a Bluebeard? I only know about Blue Waffle.
I don't know that either, but I do like the opening all doors.
I guess.
Still proud of you for that, Tifa. Thank you, so am I.
I say I hate her, but it comes from a place of jealousy. Same. Uh-huh.
Answer me with a yes. Keiichi-kun?
Yes.
Also, what's even worse, you didn't admit to having done something so bad. You should never do anything bad in the first place, but not admitting to it or apologizing for it is much, much worse.
Yes. I was wrong. For a few moments, Reina stared at me silently and intently, as if gauging my remorse. Then finally the tension in her face softened and she smiled.
Okay then, it's about time. I should be going.
Alright.
Be sure to give the notice to your mom, okay? Also warn her not to go out to pass it on after it gets dark.
I bent down to pick up the notice which had dropped when she'd slapped me. The pages had come out of a clasp and were now making a mess on the floor. I gathered them up one by one. My hands stopped at a single more light-hearted page with peaceful sentences dancing on it. We still have plenty of homemade soy sauce in stock. Feel free to come to the Sonosaki house if you want some.
Wait.
I told you! Rika would go to a close friend. It's either gonna be one of the elderly people like Kimiyoshi because she has a magic spell over all the people, or it's gonna be a friend, Reina or Mion. And it was Shmion.
I missed the fact what that was on. Light-hearted page, peaceful sentence. Wait, that...
Reina gave him the notes to hand over to his parents. He dropped them when she slapped him to...
Yeah, I get that, but why is this line on one of the notes?
I don't know. Because it is.
Yeah, but why? That makes no sense.
Because Japan 1980s, that's the thing that they do.
It makes no sense.
Accept it. What is this? I picked up the page and scanned the rest of it. They were stockpiling high-quality soy sauce they got from faraway relatives in the Akita prefecture. They had gotten a big shipment recently. They couldn't use it all, so they wanted anyone who wanted some of it to feel free to come over, is what it said. As a PS, it said it arrived in barrels and to please bring a 2-liter bottle of or other container for it.
Okay, so this is like a public announcement to everyone in the village that they could pick it up. Rika has probably seen it before and was like, oh, I'm gonna go there for soy sauce.
No, neither. I mean, yes, they probably have soy sauce, but that's a message for Keiichi.
Yeah, but this seems as a note for everyone in the village.
Yes, but only Keiichi will read it a certain way.
Yeah, because he's already heard from Reina about the whole reason, so he will connect it.
The soy sauce thing, the theory that Reina told him about.
Yes.
It arrived in barrels, like Takano-san died in a barrel.
Yes, I get that. But the note itself is a public flyer for everyone, is what I'm saying. I was wondering why he gets a note with this on it, but...
You get hung up on the weirdest things.
Yeah, just had to press A. And then it was solved.
I would if you let me. If you need some soy sauce, then you would go to a Sonosaki house. Reina, did you know all along?
Yeah. I knew. Wait, so Reina actually does believe the Sonosaki family is behind it?
Reina had already been suspicious of Mion as soon as she noticed that the big bottle of soy sauce was missing. Rika-chan had taken the bottle and gone to Mion's house and she was erased. Rika-chan wasn't coming back, so Satoko called Mion's house since she knew where she had gone, and then Satoko got called there as well. That meeting on the day the mayor disappeared, didn't ooishi-san say that the 3 families participated in it? The 3 families would include the Sonosaki family. Didn't you also say that the current leader was really old, so her heir, Mion, frequently stood in for her in public appearances? While the mayor was returning from the shrine, Mion called out and stopped him. She talked to him and invited him to their house, and then she made him disappear. It was probably even simpler to make Shion disappear. Shion was part of his Sonosaki family. They probably knew exactly what she was doing at all times. I'm sure they even knew her part-time job schedule too.
Well, yeah, see how she works for the family.
Thinking back, wasn't that Angel Mart store managed by the Sonosaki family? Setting an ambush for her there wouldn't have been any trouble at all. I'm going to Mion. I'll go apologize. Ace Detective Reina strikes again. She could have told us. Now
I find this even worse. Like
she should slap herself for not telling us or the police. Like
soy sauce code for something. The two girls disappeared when they were going to get soy sauce somewhere. Short story. So now there is a place, but we didn't know where. But now there is a place where they could have gone. We didn't know where. Where they could have gone for soy sauce, and that's when they went missing. So there's our connection.
All the evidence points to Rika going to get the soy sauce from Mion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even evidence at this point. Like that's conjecture still. We don't have any proof. It makes sense. Like Keiichi just put it together. But you wouldn't write that notice that way if you didn't want to call him out to come to you.
But
that's why Keiichi is gonna die this chapter.
But what's even worse is that Reina is now blaming us because we did not apologize to Mion and speaking up. So Mion was basically forced to kill Rika and Satoko apparently. I'm guessing Satoko is collateral damage because Satoko knew where she was and she's cursed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But how do we get the blame for this?
Somebody's got to be.
Reina is victim shaming us.
I mean, technically, she's a victim too. What was she reasonably? What was she gonna do in front of all the adults? Go? She's the murderer. Half of them, at least, probably all of them, would have turned on her because the Sonozaki family controls everything.
I'm not saying she isn't allowed to be scared or anything about that, but she is blaming us for this happening. She's gaslighting us.
No, maybe we are. I mean, listen, ultimately, the way I see it, nobody, the moment they went in there, their fates were sealed. Because out of fear, nobody could move. Reina can't speak up because she probably knows about the Sonozaki family. I just have a hunch that she does. But she knows about all the dark bullshit that they pull and how many people are in their employ. So she knows there's nobody I can turn to. I can't tell my family because then they'll be targets. I can't speak to any other adult because either they are part of the Sonozaki payroll or they'll snitch me out because they are afraid. Good luck finding somebody to stand up for me. Oh, Kimiyoshi? Oh yeah, he dead.
Yeah, that's
Rika,
fine. But then it's still not alright to blame us.
Why? Because when you start grasping, maybe if Keiichi had apologized, maybe it wouldn't have happened. I don't think it's an earnest, I've pondered this for 15 years and I've come to the conclusion that it's your fault. I think it's a...
You triggered this sort of thing, but still.
You know, I'm just bargaining. Yes, exactly, that's it. I couldn't do anything, so somebody else should have done something. Clearly Keiichi could have, so why didn't he? That's it. That is not like earnestly feeling that way. It's a grasping at something that you can try to pin the blame on.
Yeah, then maybe give us a warning about how this family and town works before you start going like this. Like you can't blame us for not doing these things if no one tells us how the democracy or how the hierarchy in this village works. Like if you then go, hey, if you do something, you have to say it, otherwise you get fucking murdered.
Yes.
Anyway, just snitch and run. Well,
there is no running.
I think Mion will outrun us.
It's like Silent Hill. The moment you speak up or you offend them, you die. There is no snitching and running unless you can teleport. Like.
But the question is now, what is she trying to gain from giving us that flyer? Obviously she knows it was in there.
She doesn't gain anything from it. It was a school flyer that she has to hand out.
And she knows it was in there. She could have easily taken it out. What is she trying to achieve by giving it to us?
I don't think it goes that far.
I think it does.
No.
I really think it does. She knew that was in there and she gave it to us on purpose.
Outrun the mist. You can't outrun fate. I'm going to have her put an end to everything. Mion probably won't forgive me easily, but I'll go and ask her not to sacrifice anyone else. With that decided, there was no need for me to be lazing around here.
And we're still not gonna call the police, obviously.
I put on my shoes and slipped past Reina to exit the house. When she stopped me.
I'm going too.
Reina, shouldn't you go to school?
This is way more important than school.
Reina, you shouldn't come. If you get wrapped up in this too, then I think I might actually go crazy. Reina didn't move her arm, which was blocking my way.
If Keiichi-kun disappeared as well...
When, not if.
Then I think I might actually go crazy too. So I won't let you go alone.
Reina argued so boldly as tears welled up in her eyes. I saw them and I knew the strength of her resolve. Alright, let's go. Thank you, Reina. Reina nodded slightly but firmly and finally let down the arm blocking me. Let's go. To Mion's house. I'll apologize for the crimes I've committed. Then we'll put an end to these twisted days. After that, I'll pray that once more we can return to those fun, lively days. I can when my fate is by UFO table. Doesn't ring a bell. It's a deep cut. That's the studio that does the Fate's Day franchise animations. Oh, okay. Nah, the power of Higurashi is too strong. Even a UFO table won't help you.
Oh, I didn't know Demon Slayer was from the same studio.
Or animated by the same studio, at least. With Reina following me, I left the house. In front of the house, there was a car waiting. It was ooishi-san. Hey, good morning, Maebara-san. To you too, Yugo-san. Together so early in the morning, you make me jealous. What a truly praiseworthy man he was if he had been lying in wait so early in the morning just to pressure me into talking. And this morning though, maybe this was actually a good opportunity.
You're from the police.
No, have I not introduced myself to you, Ryugo-san? Please, excuse my rudeness. My name is Oishi from the Okinomiya Police Department. Pleased to meet you. Are we telling Oishi-san?
Yeah. I think my palm is enough punishment for your crime, Keiichi-kun, but we should leave Mi-chan to these people.
Pain and sadness. I look down as those emotions build up in my heart.
See, you don't have to call the cops, they're already here. How convenient.
As we were hoping, but didn't know.
That is true. In this case, it's really good timing, because if he wasn't standing there, obviously we wouldn't have...
We would have walked straight into the lion's den here.
Yeah. We have something to tell you, Oishi-san.
Oh, well, no. What about? Should we stand here and talk, or go inside the car?
In the car, please.
I only continued to look down weakly. All I could do was be thankful for how dependable Reina was.
Then the moment we're in the car, you're stupid.
Baka! Main drives off. At Reina's urging, I revealed everything to Oishi-san. The latter, while making sure to throw in murmurs that he was paying attention every now and then, took notes. We continued that for a while. How do you feel? Don't you feel a lot better now that you've told me? Oishi-san asked this while scratching his head with his ballpoint pen. Of course I don't feel better. The price had been paid up until now for me not owning up to my... The price that had been paid up until now for me not owning up to my crimes had been so immense. But as long as that payment wasn't returned, the load on my chest could never be removed. His radio started to emit static.
This is... Oh, wait. He's not a bee.
Bzz, bzz.
This is Kumaki.
Okay, let's rerun this. Bzz, bzz.
This is Kumagai. Oishi-san, over.
Yes, hello. This is Oishi.
We got news a few minutes ago that she's been absent from school. No movement at the Sonozaki house. Our target is still on the premises.
Yes, good. Keep a close watch out.
Roger that. The relief for 3 and 7 just arrived and they've returned to base. Also, it looks like the division chief is looking for you, ooishi-san. He keeps bugging me too to tell him as soon as I get in touch with you. What do you want me to do?
If you're hard-pressed for an answer, tell him you're actually under orders not to wake me from my morning nap.
Got it.
Bzzz. The radio grew silent. Sorry about that. It was about work. He just said there was no movement at the Sonozaki house, didn't he? Oh my, did it sound like that to you? This won't do. Please, keep that a secret, alright? I don't have permission from a division chief to be making private inquiries like this. Ooishi-san had suspected me for a long time. Nor for questioning witnesses or for searching houses. We don't have permission for anything, really. The Sonozaki's house's defenses had to protect the family members also in full working condition. Without a warrant, we can't do anything about anything unless the crime happens right in front of us.
So how about you go in there and, stir up some shit?
Did you know that you actually can't spell your name, Keiichi, without the kanji for bait? It's actually right there in your name.
Ooishi-san, could you be...
Reina's tone of voice alone was enough to make her spite clear as she stared at Ooishi-san.
You can't set foot in the Sonozaki house. Were you trying to get Keiichi-kun to go in there instead?
Reina, that's... What do you mean?
This person, just as I thought, he plays really dirty.
Stop, you're hurting my reputation. And that said, I'm all ears to your explanation, okay? Ooishi-san lit a cigarette and responded to Reina wearing an expression implying he was calm and willing to let her comment slide.
You can't get a warrant, but you've always had your eyes on Mi-chan because you thought she was suspicious.
Yes?
You plotted to incite Keiichi-kun and have him go to the Sonozaki house. Then, if something were to happen to him, you would have used that as an excuse to go in. Isn't that right?
I only understood about half of what Reina was saying. I knew, however, that Ooishi-san had been trying to use me.
Even if Keiichi-kun got hurt as a result. Have you no shame? Is this how the police do things? When their hands are tied?
Did you know that the other kanji used to spell your name, Keiichi, is actually collateral damage? I'm just waiting for another twist like that. It's always been in the names. My, it seems like we have an incredible detective on our hands. Oh my. Would you be interested in taking our exam? I'd gladly write a recommendation letter to get you into detective division.
Reina would probably be good at that. You're despicable.
Reina spoke quietly, her words dripping with hostility. I've been insulted in all kinds of ways in my life, but one or two words from a young girl always were roughest for me.
Even so, I suppose I should thank you for not arresting Mi-chan yet.
Don't mention it. Thank you for not arresting her yet when she's been killing our friends, is what we think.
But at least our one friend is not in jail.
Don't we go, if you arrested Mi-chan before, Rika and Satoko wouldn't have been killed?
Yeah, Ooishi. Ooishi-san seemed to be enjoying his exchange with Reina. The things this man thought were like a swamp, I could barely see past the surface. It reminded me again of how much I disliked him. Now then, as two esteemed friends of me and Sonozaki-san, what do you plan on doing now? Will you wait kindly for me to go over the evidence and request a warrant?
No, we won't wait for that. We'll go and make Mi-chan surrender herself.
That's right. If she turned herself in rather than be arrested, she might get a lighter sentence. At this point, perhaps that was the only pity I could find in me to afford her. I see. I wonder if that'll go well. If you're careless, you two may face danger,
It's okay, you might have murdered someone, but you're still my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that it might be hard to get over those feelings immediately, but...
There is in a way, I guess, very human need to see people in a certain way. I've talked about this before to a degree. I don't have a relationship with my mother. I haven't had one for the last, how long has it been? 16 years. because of all the stuff she's done when I was younger. But to this day, like my grandparents, or no, just my grandmother, they still see that part of her daughter that they raised. Not the one that did these horrible things, but the one that they raised. And no matter how often over the years, like I've talked with them about all that has happened, and from my perspective, like they understood that, they understand that, the way you obtain facts from a newspaper, I guess. But every now and then, still, they see the person that was their daughter, and not.
But that's human.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess because of my background, my upbringing, I've kind of fallen out of the ability to do that. I'm very harsh with my judgments when it comes to people, for better or for worse. But I know that people have a hard time not sometimes still falling into the, oh, but they were my friend, or they were my mother or my father, it doesn't matter. It's somebody close to me, somebody important to me, despite all the things they've done. In this case, allegedly, the murder of 4 people. Yeah.
It's just hard to think.
No, 6. 6?
They wouldn't be a bit harsher in the moment.
Yeah, it's still not good. Like, Raina knows that, but, you know, it's still she was our friend once. Oh, the Mion is my best friend. At the wrong moment, but yes. Ooishi-san was measuring our resolve. So, in a strong voice, I declared, "We're fully prepared." Ooishi-san gave us an unpleasant yet seemingly satisfied grin. It was then that I realized this man was trying to use us for his own convenience.
If anything should happen to us, use that as an excuse. Though my greatest hope is that you will surround the place so that the criminal can't get away.
Ryuga-san, you're good at negotiating too. I'm throwing in the towel. I surrender. What are you talking about?
If the policemen surround Mi-chan's house, then that will be insurance for the worst case scenario. For the worst case.
Plus, it would be another way for pressuring Mion to give herself up, wouldn't it? No. Ooishi-Takuma-san. Ooishi-Takuma-chan. Bzz, bzz.
This is Kumagai. Go ahead.
Our 2 friends are going to play at the Sonozaki house. Make arrangements so that we can reinforce them if needed.
Roger.
Zzz. Their altogether too short conversation implied that our questioning was already a part of their plans. Then, let's get going. Want to buy some tea biscuits on the way there? Neither Reina nor I went along with Rishi-san's stupid joke. What messes me up so much about this is, I don't know if they're just playing it cool or if they haven't realized yet. They're going in there to die.
They might not. They're going in there with hope.
No, you are going in there to die.
Yeah, but they are going in with hope.
There is no hope.
They have hope. And I think this is also a good moment to save, but I think that they believe that it won't go that far. That they honestly can convince her.
This person killed a friend that she's known for quite a while. His, I guess, girlfriend and fellow villager. Then she killed these little kids. She killed her own sister, but she won't do it to us.
No, I fully agree with you, but they do not believe that. I'm sorry, but that is not the attitude of someone who will walk in there and believes they're going to die. They believe they can convince Mion. And they probably don't realize what the worst case scenario actually means.
Nah, or maybe it is and you've resigned to your fate because Keiichi... No. Yes. No, people can't have different feelings. Yes, Keiichi wants to be punished.
He does not. Yes, he might want to be punished. But he's not gonna walk in there believing he is now sacrificing himself.
I have literally multiple times in this chapter read out Keiichi's lines going, if somebody has to die, it should be me. Why do they take them? They should kill me. I wish I could trade places.
Thinking that and actually believing that is going to happen in this case are completely different things.
Do I need to remind you that he also walked pretty much straight into that at the end of chapter 1?
Yeah, but we're not at this point yet. This point is hope.
I think we are at that point.
This point is hope.
I mean, other than Reina being kind of, I guess, flip-floppity with her, oh, you should have talked to me on about this earlier. By the way, I knew this was happening. I don't want her to die. Like, as far as chapter 2 goes, I don't think Reina has done anything that implies that she is on board with all of this horrible shit. Or has she? I mean, you seem to think she's complicit because she gave him the flyer.
I'm not saying complicit, I'm saying she gave that with a bigger motive.
What would the motive be then?
Well, that's the thing. But she knew it was in there. She knew we would make the connection. And I do think this was her goal.
Tifa, this city is run by murder yakuza. Sorry, no, let me change this. The city is run and fully penetrated through and through by a group of people who, for a living, kill and hurt people, and who believe that it is their divine duty to do so, potentially, because they are better than them, because they are the demons and the others are the lesser beings. So, if she goes to Kei-chan's house and gives him the stack of paper without the note, somebody will probably see that, and then she becomes the next target immediately. Because she didn't play along.
I really doubt that. Nah, that's too far-fetched.
It's too far-fetched. It's too far-fetched to have somebody tell Reina to deliver the thing that's gonna make Keiichi give up himself to come to the Sonozaki house with a coded message in a game where 4 people go into a building with absolutely no evidence that they've been found out, and they have been found out.
If she took out that one flyer that she knew was in there, they wouldn't probably even have known.
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Yes.
No, she could have gone to the toilet in the meantime. She could have eaten it there. She could have flushed it. She could have thrown it away. She could have taken it out inside her house. There are plenty of moments where you could take out that flyer. That flyer was not in there on purpose by the Sonozaki family, I think.
It could be something as stupid and simple and dumb as somebody then asking Keiichi's parents, oh hey, did you get the flyer about all the exotic soy sauce we imported? And then they go, no, and then immediately they know Reina didn't do the thing.
No, because that also means they could have just not read it, and no one would go around ringing the doorbell and going, hey, did you see the soy sauce thing?
Tifa, these are people that eat other people's guts for fun.
Far-fetched.
Okay, sorry. This entire story hinges on the fact that a group of people believe that they are semi-divine beings because their parents were demons at some point who were spit out by hell. And you can go along with all of that, but the fact that somebody wants to make sure that a message is being delivered to the last missing piece in the murder puzzle, that's where you draw the line?
Yeah. Quite serious, actually, yes. Because I don't think that is the case.
How do I reach these kids? There's a Simpsons. There's a South Park reference for you.
You might be right.
Oh, Tifa.
But you might not. And for now, I'm willing to...
For all we know, Reina is part of this.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, so then she has to hand it over.
If she's a part of it, yeah, but...
Yeah. Doesn't even have to be that she's willingly agreeing and going along with all of this crap. It could be that they threatened her or her family.
Well, there's a lot of what ifs.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem, isn't it?
Frickin' Higurashi, I hate this game.
But yeah, we're gonna see, I guess. Seems like we're nearing the end of the episode. Or the chapter. I'm mixing them up again. The episode.
The episode and the chapter.
I mean both, but the...
Chapter. You know, looking back at this list of predictions, I liked it when it was just more mundane things, like me thinking that there's a chemical being released during the burning of stuff at the Watanagashi that causes somebody to go nuts. You know? That would have been, in hindsight, kind of funny. Not funny haha, but funny strange. There's a clear, albeit strange, explanation on why these things are happening, versus, yeah, they just really like to eat your lower intestines.
I personally prefer the latter.
Also,
to be the case.
Your tomboy BFF, maybe almost waifu, is actually the heiress to the biggest Yakuza clan in the area of the last over 5,000 years. She has this amazing back piece that you haven't seen ever, but that's not the point. And she murders everybody. Also, she's deranged. I still think, by the way, but it's actually Shion. I will stick with that.
It could be. I'm not gonna be surprised by any outcome, probably.
Oh!
I don't have a full answer yet, but we're gonna find out maybe on Sunday, depending on how fast we're gonna finish Mario.
One last thought.
Out with it. Like now.
Higurashi is a game aimed at adults only, right? It's 18 plus rating.
Is it?
I think so.
Not 16?
I mean, I don't think they could show this, but with the whole Mion Shion thing and impersonating each other, and if my thinking is correct that Shion snapped, for the lack of a lengthy explanation, impersonated Mion, then killed Mion to, you know, get rid of Shion, killed the others because she wants to take over Mion's life. I think there is a fair possibility that before the end of this, we're actually gonna see Mion's tattoo, but it's on Shion. And hear me out. Somebody who is brought up into this cult thing where they try to gut people to keep them alive and afterwards eat their entrails, I wouldn't be too shocked if she flayed Mion's back and put that on herself. You know, go full psycho gore mode with a horror scenario.
I gotta say, I would actually like that idea if they go for it. I don't think they will, but I do like it.
I hope it's not gonna be an actual frame of the game. I don't need to see that. Oh my god, filet mignon. Oh, fucking hell. Skinner.
That is a 10 out of 10.
No, 99.9. Oh my god. You broke the scale. Why didn't I say that? Can we ban Skinner because he kind of stole the best joke possible and I hate myself for not saying it?
You win.
Leatherface Mion, yeah.
Basically, yes.
But you know, of course Skinner doesn't have these prepared because he totally... Skinner! Oh my god! Oh my god, yes!
True.
Oh, of course, a person with a username Skinner would Fate! It's fate! I swear, Skinner, if you ever again dare to go, no, you're playing the visual novels. We know you've played them. We know you're sitting on these lines and you're just waiting to dispense them. There is no way this is coincidence or happenstance. No.
7D chess.
Skinner has played every single visual novel on Earth. Like, he's probably publishing them too, so he gets like sneak peeks and stuff, so he can come into your stream chat and hit you with these lines. That's the dedication Skinner brings into this, and I love you for it. Thank you. This is getting more cursed. Yes, this is Higurashi.
And it didn't even come from me.
For
the
once,
whole
yeah.
Filleting, stitch it on her back. If that actually will happen, I will commend you. But I really think for now, they're trying to put us onto this wild goose chase, and it is actually Mion still alive.
If this happens, we have to ban Skinner on the ground that rules are rules and stop it with the spoilers. I mean, you know, the rules gotta apply to everybody.
Yeah, but he responded to your theory, so it's not a spoiler.
Meh. Meh. Yeah, fair enough. True. Played it cool. Yeah. I love seeing people new to the series work out their theories as they go. My mind is scrambled. I'm thinking every thought at once. I hate
He can't give anything a break. Nothing. At all.
A Watanagashi sacrifice, something like that.
Indeed.
Something like that.
But maybe we will find filet mignon on Sunday if we finish Mario Friday soon enough.
This is gonna sound rude, but can you do me a favor and stop talking?
Okay.
What Tifa is trying to tell you all in her, sit like a human, in her very Tifa-esque way. On Sunday, we're gonna continue Higurashi, but on Friday, we're gonna play Super Mario Land 2 DX 6 golden coins. Because why not? That's it.
Yeah, but I thought if we didn't finish that on one stream, we'll continue that on Sunday.
We will finish that on one stream. It's a short game.
That's not a short game.
It is a short game.
I remember spending a long time on that as a kid.
It's a short game.
That was my first Mario game.
Super Mario Land 2 DX 6 golden coins will be a one stream thing. We will play that on Friday. And then we will continue Higurashi on Sunday. Speaking it into the world to give it power. I assumed it was a Jack-only stream. No,
those will be soon.
There's gonna be an extra one, as I learned today, but more when that happens. No, we were actually thinking of what do we play next to Higurashi, you know, the Tuesday, Wednesday, one thing, then Friday, Sunday, one thing. But we still haven't found a game to play. So I just randomly threw in, hey, do you want to play Mario Land 2? And Tifa was like, yes. I'm like, okay, so which day do you want to play that? And she's like, Friday. I'm like, okay, so Friday it is. The game is short, Tifa.
It's Ranger. Okay, so Ranger size. Well, we'll see. Okay, then for now, assume we'll be back on Sunday with Higurashi.
And if we don't play it in the normal time, you just gotta stay up a minute longer.
But in the 2 weeks after, there will be several Jack-only streams because I need to travel for work again, and people will also be traveling to me, which also means after work socializing, which I can't get out of. But
we will tell you when we get there. So I still need to think of what to play with. Maybe because that's 2 weeks after another, right?
Yeah, next week they're coming to me, and the week after I go to Poland.
I will ponder this. Maybe Sonic Adventure. Maybe it's finally time. Because I think I will need 3 streams for that because the cutscenes are long. I don't want to skip any because they are great. Maybe it's gonna be Sonic Adventure.
Do it!
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
I'm not sure why you would want to play that, but sure.
Because I grew up with it. It's objectively not a great game. But subjectively, I freaking love it.
Well, go for it.
Gotta go fast. Yes, like most 3D Sonic games, when you go fast and suddenly you fall through the game because they forgot to put geometry everywhere and yeah. Sonic Adventure. The Sonic Adventure. I'll think about it.
Well, now is the perfect time frame to do it. So while we think about that, we're going to wish you all an awesome night while we go to bed.
What Tifa is trying to say is we will be rolling around at the speed of sound. We've got places to go. We've got to follow our rainbow. And that's of course wrong, as any true Sonic fan would know, because that's City Escape, that's Sonic Adventure 2. And we were talking about Sonic Adventure 1. I'm sorry that I hurt everybody, but it worked in my head.
And here I thought we were going with Leap, Dine and Come.
No. Close enough. Wait, Live and Learn was also Sonic Adventure 2. Whenever I'm put on the spot, I cannot remember the opening theme for Sonic Adventure. Open your heart. Thank you. Skinner saw me thinking it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we will.
More for genetic field.
We will go Leb unseren Traum, and then we will open our hearts potentially to Sonic Adventure 1 coming soon, maybe. We'll see. I will let you know. Press the button.
Pressing the button.
Okay. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us. We'll be back on Friday with Mario Land 2 Deluxe with Tifa. We'll see you then. Bye!